Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Steel City Sports Report, where we talk everything Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates. I am your host, Brady Vini, up very early here on a Sunday morning. It is about 9:15 on the East Coast in the United States, and we are live because the Pittsburgh Steelers will be in action here in about 15 minutes. They are going to play the first ever regular season game in the NFL in Dublin, Ireland. The Steelers taking on the Minnesota Vikings. Lots to talk about in this matchup that we are going to get to here in a matter of moments for our little pregame chat. Top storylines, key matchups, inactives, a big one for the Pittsburgh Steelers that we were not expecting this morning. We will discuss all of that and more here in a moment. But before we get into that, if you are new here, please hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications so that you never miss when I am live or upload a video again. Like this video, share this live stream, and leave a comment in the comments section. Any thoughts, questions, or opinions that you folks may have, please get those in there. I enjoy when you leave any questions or comments. You react live to this game just like me. You want to go in there and type obscenities into the world, by all means, be my guest. So get those in there. Also, go give the channel a follow on the following social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, and X at Steel City SR. Just ignore for today that SCSR 60. That is the weekday 60-second or less news video that we do on all of the Pittsburgh professional sports teams. With that, ladies and gentlemen, as you see here, Minnesota, Pittsburgh getting ready to get underway here in a matter of moments. Let's real quick talk a little bit about what to look forward to in this game. Some top storylines we will start with today. And the first storyline, welcome to the NFL family, Ireland. The game itself is the top story today. For the first time ever, an NFL regular season game will be played in Ireland. Fittingly enough, it is the Irish-rich Pittsburgh Steelers that will be the designated home team for today's game. However, this isn't the first time that the Steelers have played in Dublin. They did play a preseason game back in 1997 against the Chicago Bears. The Steelers won that game, and it meant a ton to Steelers owner and former U.S. ambassador for the United States to Ireland, Dan Rooney, and the rest of the Rooney family. I'm sure Dan, looking down on this game, he is smiling like a butcher's dog, to take a saying from Pittsburgh Penguins broadcaster Mike Lang. Also, I am sure that Dan's son, Art, who is now the owner of the team, he wants this game more than any game on the Steelers schedule this year. He gave a speech to the team before their flight over to Dublin, talking about how much this game means to him and his family. Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin and a whole bunch of other people affiliated with the Steelers. I'm sure they want to win this game pretty much more than any other on the Steelers schedule for this season. On the other side of this matchup today, we have the Minnesota Vikings, who are a perfect 4-0 in regular season games at the international stage here, including a 34-27 win over the Black and Gold back in 2013 in London, England. So the Vikings, very experienced on this national stage. They got a win over the Steelers in London, a similar situation to this over 10 years ago. So today, that's the big question. Will the Steelers' determination to get a win for the late, great Dan Rooney and the rest of the Rooney family come through? Or will the Vikings continue their perfection on the international stage? Also, another thing to keep in mind here, will fatigue play a role in today's game? Both squads just arrived in Ireland back on Thursday. A little bit of a later arrival to the country for both of these teams. So have they fully adjusted to the time change yet? Who knows? Anyway, we will find out those answers at Croke Park in Dublin, Ireland today. Another story here, ladies and gentlemen. This one is the breaking news that we just got a little over an hour ago. One Steeler goes down, but another is back. Some bad news and a little bit of unforeseen news this morning. That is that Jaylen Warren, Steelers starting running back, will not play today. Since Tuesday, Warren, he has been wearing a sleeve on his right leg. He popped up on the injury report as a resting veteran, but also with a knee from all accounts, really since Friday in the final injury report came out, Warren was listed as questionable on that. All reports were that he's questionable just, because they have to put some sort of game designation for him there. Reports from local and national sources said that Warren was going to play today, but now the situation, a complete 180-degree turn. Warren did take warm-ups with the team at Croke Park today, but now he is inactive. That makes me wonder, did he tweak something pre-game? Did the Steelers see his, movement and mobility and said, hey, we better not push it? Did he, did something flare up or tighten up on the travel over to Dublin? Who knows? But Jaylen Warren, Steelers starting running back, a big blow to the offense, will not play today. Now we will see how they divide up the labor at that running back position. If I had to guess, Kenneth Gainwell, who's been the number 2 behind Jaylen Warren, pretty much the lone guy getting running back snaps behind Jaylen Warren. I assume he gets a majority of the snaps today, but now you're going to test your depth at that position. Caleb Johnson, 3rd-round pick this year, did not play at all last weekend after his botch on the kickoff in week 2 against the Seahawks, so he didn't see the field at all last week. Also, running back Trey Sermon, who is on the practice squad, he got elevated for today's game. I think he was going to get elevated regardless of whether Warren did or did not play, but those two, along with Gainwell, you might see a filling of Jaylen Warren's hole in this offense by committee today. So we will see how that turns out. Also, on the injury front, now on a positive note, the Steelers' defense and secondary, they will be getting some reinforcements today. Safety Deshaun Elliott will be back today. Some stuff on him right here. He's going to be back. Haven't seen him since the first quarter of the Week 1 matchup with the New York Jets. Sidelined with an MCL sprain. Elliott's physicality, but more importantly, his communication and knowledge of this defense has been greatly missed by the Steelers defense. The passing defense has been pretty bad to start the year, so Elliott being back out there as the main communicator of that defense is going to be a big boost. If he is feeling normal, like his healthy self, that knee is 100%, expect him to make a lot of tackles today and be in the picture frame on just about every time the whistle blows here. So welcome back, Deshaun Elliott. Last top storyline here for today's game. Big brain matchups between the coaches and the quarterbacks. Lots of smart and experienced individuals wearing the headsets and conducting these offenses here today. I want to start with the Vikings. They are head coached by Kevin O'Connell, one of the brightest offensive minds in football today, has a very QB-friendly system that also, is very tough for defenses to stop. His offense and just how smooth it is operational-wise rivals the likes of Kyle Shanahan out in San Francisco and Sean McVay in L.A. Now, I say all that. Their offense did struggle for the first 2 weeks of the season, but that was with a struggling rookie quarterback in J.J. McCarthy at the helm. Now, insert, because McCarthy is out injured, veteran Carson Wentz. Wentz, who I didn't know was still only 32 years old, didn't need to do anything special in the Vikings' last game against the Cincinnati Bengals. He did his job. The Vikings, offensively and defensively, just dominated the Bengals and their really bad defense. But clearly, even with, Wentz not needing to do much, the Vikings offense looked like a more professional and efficient unit. We must remember, Wentz, once upon a time, an MVP candidate in the NFL, and now he has some excellent experience to go along with him. As the Ireland game on NFL Network comes on the screen over here to our right, looks like they are going to have a little bit extra talking here, so we'll buy ourselves a couple more minutes here for the pregame talk. On defense for the Vikings, familiar face to the Pittsburgh Steelers, their DC linebacker coach, former linebacker coach for the Steelers, Brian Flores, also a former head coach with the Miami Dolphins. Minnesota, a consensus top 10 defense in the NFL right now that Flores has rolling. They are coming off of a 5-turnover performance against the Bengals, including 2 pick sixes from Isaiah Rodgers. He will have this defense doing all sorts of wild blitzes and coverages to confuse the hell out of the opposing quarterback and coordinator. So the Steelers, they got one hell of a task on hand, both going up against Kevin O'Connell and Brian Flores here today. What the black and gold have going for them? Going to be honest, not a whole lot, but one thing that could be their saving grace today, they have one of the smartest, most brilliant quarterbacks in diagnosing what a defense is doing, possibly in NFL history with Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers, fast processing quarterback, likes to read the defense, wind things down to the wire with the play clock. So he's going to do his best today to abuse that play clock and get a good lay of the land around him. Let's just hope that, everyone else is on the same page. We have seen some miscommunications with the offense early on this season. So hopefully everyone is on the same page. No room for error today. Offense, Rodgers here. If anybody's going to be able to diagnose what Flores will throw their way, I think it will be him. Steelers, OC, Arthur Smith, his play calling has been suspect of late. So how Rodgers will be able to see what's coming, check in and out of plays, that could go a long way in determining the outcome of today's game. As for the Steelers' defense, I'm going to be honest and say that I have little confidence in Mike Tomlin and Steelers DC Terrell Austin in their schemes against this Kevin O'Connell offense. Tomlin has created a turnover-producing culture in his defense. They had 5 turnovers last weekend, just like the Vikings. That could be the way that they combat this Vikings offense today. Wentz, he can get wild and aggressive with the ball, so we will see if he makes any mistakes today that the Steelers can take advantage of. Now, ladies and gentlemen, getting into some of the key matchups from today. I know, the coaches and quarterbacks, that, could be viewed as a matchup, but some top matchups that I'm looking forward to on the field today. Starting with one right here, Steelers offensive line against this Vikings defensive line. The Steelers O-line, they might be slowly improving. I'm not going to, get too high on them here. But last week's game plan, just dinks and dunks, screen passes, running the football, that really protected this offensive line a lot. This week, however, I don't think there's any way that you're going to protect this O-line against this Vikings front seven. They are the engine that makes that Vikings defense hum. No Andrew Van Ginkel today for the Vikings at edge rusher, but to make up for his loss, they still got phenomenal guys. At edge, they're going to be starting first-round rookie Dallas Turner in Van Ginkel's place. They also got Jonathan Grenard on the other side. In the middle, Javon Hargrave, Jalen Redmond, Jonathan Allen, 3 solid players right there. Hargrave, a former Steeler. I'm not going to act like I know all of their stats, but those 5 that I just mentioned there, they seem like they can do it all, whether it's stop the run or rush the passer. So this endless trope of the Steelers' offensive line having their work cut out for them continues here today. Another matchup I'm looking forward to here today, the Steelers' big receivers versus this smaller Vikings defensive back group. A rare offensive versus defensive advantage for the Steelers today. That might be the big receivers versus the Vikings secondary. Besides safety, a veteran safety, Harrison Smith, who is 6'2", all other starting DBs for the Vikings are hovering around that 5'11", 5'10" mark. So against that height, if I'm Aaron Rodgers, if I'm Arthur Smith, any chance I get, I'm taking a shot to DK Metcalf and Darnell Washington. Metcalf, 6'4", 230. Washington, 6'7", probably pushing 300 pounds. So if it's Metcalf down the sideline, a deep shot to him, I'm cool taking that. Washington in the red zone. Steelers said they want to use him a ton. Use him a lot today against this Vikings secondary. Another matchup I'm looking forward to here today, the Wisconsin Suns versus the tackles for this Minnesota Vikings group. TJ Watt, Nick Herbig, both absolute game wreckers last weekend. Watt, he had a I'm back sort of performance, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery, 2 sacks. Herbig as well, he had a strip sack. As great as their performances were, they will not be going up against an average right tackle and rookie left tackle today. Instead, Herbig, he will match up with Christian Darrisaw, probably one-on-one for a majority of the game. Watt, he will get 2-time Pro Bowl right tackle Brian O'Neill, former Pitt product, as well as probably some chips from the running backs and tight ends. So how Herbig does against a top-tier opponent, still on a starter snap budget with Alex Highsmith out, and how Watt does against a non-pushover player with probable chip help, that'll be a big indicator on which way this game is going to go. If they can't get to Wentz, he is going to probably more often than not dice up this suspect Steelers passing defense. If they do, Wentz could rush some of his throws, could have some indecisions, and the Steelers can make a turnover that way. Last matchup I'm looking at today, that is whoever will be covering Jordan Addison and TJ Hawkinson. Now, I could have gone with the easy matchup here between a defensive back and a receiver with Jalen Ramsey and Justin Jefferson, but these other ones, they might be a bigger effect on today's game. Personally, I think Jefferson, he can only be limited, not completely shut out. He's going to, get his receptions and yards no matter what you do. So it's up to the Steelers now. Don't let Jefferson break you. He's going to get his, targets. Just limit him. Everyone else, you must shut down today. So with that, all of my attention, that shifts to tight end TJ Hawkinson and wide receiver Jordan Addison. Starting with Hawkinson here, I think he is, still a top 10 tight end in the NFL, quite honestly. And going up against this Steelers defense, I think that he is going to get double digits today, or at least he should. If Kevin O'Connell is the great mastermind that we all think he is, he will try to exploit this one key weakness in the Steelers defense, and that is their terrible pass coverage in the middle of the field. Hawkinson could be used there a lot. Can the Steelers make an adjustment to stop that today? Who the hell knows? On to Jordan Addison. He could be just as dangerous as Jefferson today. Was suspended the first 3 weeks of the season, but is now back and will be 100%. If Ramsey travels with Jefferson today, then whoever the Steelers put on Addison must be up to the task and be able to hold him off the board. If not, he may have a Bolitnikov Award winner type performance today. So will we see how those matchups go down? Kickoff between the Steelers and the Vikings. The Dublin game, first ever regular season game in Ireland, is on their way. This kickoff going to be fielded at the 10-yard line by Trey Sermon, and he brings it out up to around the 35-yard line. The Steelers, they will start on offense with the ball here today, and there is Aaron Rodgers. He heads on to the field. He, too, like the Vikings, pretty experienced here in these international games. Played last year in, I believe, Madrid, Spain with the New York Jets. I don't think he had his best showing there, but hey, maybe another time around here, he will know what he needs to do on this foreign soil. Rodgers here with Kenneth Gainwell to his left here, takes the snap, back to pass, and he is going to get sacked immediately. That is going to be number 61, Jalen Redmond, who we just mentioned in the opening. He gets the sack, and just like that, the matchup that I said, the Steelers' offensive line against this front seven for the Vikings, 1-0 Vikings, just like that. Rodgers, I guess he was looking for Gainwell, who was leaking out of the backfield there, couldn't find him. Under center here, looks like we got 12 personnel for the Steelers. Rodgers back to pass again. He's going to check it down here to Kenneth Gainwell, and he'll get up to about the 33-yard line, so it'll be third down and probably looking at around 10 or 11 yards here for the Steelers. Offensive line for the Steelers today, the starting lineup, no changes. Jones, Sayamalu, Frazier, McCormick, Fautanu from left to right. Kenneth Gainwell, like we mentioned in the open, he is going to get the lion's share reps at running back with no Jaylen Warren today. DK Metcalf, Pat Freiermuth, Jonnu Smith, and Calvin Austin, the other receiving options here for Rodgers. 12 personnel again for the Steelers. They run a ton of it. Rodgers takes the snap back to pass. Rodgers stepping up, moving all around, checks it down here to Jonnu Smith. He is behind the line of scrimmage, tackled there by John Metellus. And an ugly start to this game. A 3-and-out just like that for the Steelers. Dominance, poise, composure by the Vikings defense. They get the sack, and that was pretty much a DOA drive offensively for the Steelers. So now they will punt it away to this Vikings offense immediately from his own 20-yard line. Steelers punter Corliss Waitman gets this away. It's going to be fielded at the 12 and brought back here by Josh Naylor, I believe. Tackled there nicely at around the 15-yard line by Jack Sawyer. 4th-round pick out of Ohio State. Sawyer there hasn't really played a ton of special teams in his collegiate career, but he's made quite the impact on special teams so far in his NFL career. And now Carson Wentz, he will take the field for the Vikings. 32-year-old quarterback, one-time an MVP candidate with the Philadelphia Eagles. Since his time with the Eagles ended, he's been a bit of a journeyman. First down pass here to Justin Jefferson. That's a good gain of about 6 or 7 yards out of bounds. It's going to be 2nd and short here. Darius Slay in coverage there. We could see Slay cover him quite a bit. I think he's had success in the past against Jefferson. Passing, receiving options for Wentz today. Jordan Mason, number 27, the running back. He is filling in for the injured Aaron Jones, who is on IR. He gets the rock right here, running to the right, up past the 35 and out of bounds. First down gain for Mason. Big game for him last week against the Vikings. Aaron Jones on IR, so he's been good for them in relief. Two backup running backs going against each other here today. Steelers defense, they're popping up right there. There you see on the field right there, Deshaun Elliott, who's back from injury with an MCL sprain. Wentz with Mason to his left. Back to pass here. Throws short. Caught by Jefferson. Turns it inside and gets a gain of about 9 yards. All positive gains for the Vikings thus far. Jefferson gets the catch. Going to be tough all day for this Steelers secondary to cover. There you see DC for the Steelers, Terrell Austin, who has been on quite the hot seat, at least from the fans. Not really that popular, he or Mike Tomlin right now. So we'll see if they can do anything here to stop this here. Running to the left and then cutting it back to the right, getting a first down is Jordan Mason. Steelers had it clogged up to the left. Mason running it back the opposite way. First down yardage by about 2 yards. Cole Holcomb in the backfield there almost got the TFL. Then it was Deshaun Elliott, who I did say was going to be in on a lot of tackles today. He gets the stop there. Offensive line for the Minnesota Vikings today from left to right. Christian Darrisaw, Blake Brandel, who is filling in for the injured rookie starter, Donovan Jackson. Carson Wentz now dumps it off here in the flat to Jordan Mason, and he makes some nice shifty moves to get another good gain of about 6 yards. Second down now for the Vikings. Their center is Ryan Kelly, the former Indianapolis Colt. Also a former Colt, Will Fries. And then right tackle, I mentioned in the open, 2-time Pro Bowler, former Pitt Panther, Brian O'Neill. Here you get a good look at Kevin O'Connell calm, cool, and collected. I'm sure his offense looking exactly the way he wants it to look so far. Pitch here to Jordan Mason, running to the left, and he is going to get first down yardage. And the ball came loose. It's picked up by Patrick Queen. No, it's Jalen Ramsey. Is that a live ball? It is going to be a touchdown, Pittsburgh. Oh my goodness, what a start! Wow! Touchdown, Steelers! Unreal! That ball came loose. I'm wondering, did they call him down? That ball is on the ground. Ramsey picks up the ball that's just sitting there and runs it back. And Ramsey, please do not do that again. Assuming that the touchdown counts, Ramsey grabbing his hamstring and then hits the gritty afterwards. Worried me there that he actually pulled it, but he appears to be all right. Yes, let me look here. Yes, that is the 100% a fumble, and the Steelers defense, the splash play we were talking about, they do it immediately. The only hope for the Steelers defense. They aren't going to beat the Vikings schematically, so they are going to need to lean heavily on their turnover culture. My guess here as we wait the extra point attempt from Chris Boswell is that they are reviewing this to make sure that it is a turnover. Let's see what it is here. This would be an absolute insane start for the Steelers defense today. And yes, 110%. That ball is loose. Chuck Clark, the former Baltimore Raven. He then went to the Jets, and now he's in the black and gold. He gets the rip out right there. So, identical to the Steelers' opening defensive drive against the Patriots last week. They get the turnover on the Vikings today, and a touchdown on the board here, but hang on. They are going to call it back here. Hang on. Oh, no. It is not going to be a fumble. Jordan Mason, the running back, after the ball was ripped free, as he was laying out of bounds, his knee out of bounds, he touches the ball. It is a dead ball. So points off the board. Oh. No. Nothing for the Steelers. Damn. So scratch out everything I just said for the past 2 minutes. Back on the field, the Vikings offense. Damn. Well, that's that. And with that, not only did the Vikings keep the ball, they got a first down on the play. So, 1st and 10 here. This is from the Steelers 38. Wentz back to pass, firing over the middle. It's caught by Justin Jefferson inside the red zone, down at about the 17-yard line. What did we say? Steelers, their middle of the field defense against the pass. Nick Herbig just couldn't get his hand in that passing lane. And it's a strike to Jefferson. Taking the snap here and running it up the middle is Jordan Mason. Solid gain there. 2nd down now for the Vikings. Unbelievable. From lows to the highest of highs, the defense putting up points on the board. Now back to the lows. So we will see now if the Steelers can do it again here. 2nd and 7. They did have 2 red zone turnovers against the Patriots last week. They could really use another one right now. Wentz here. It's a screen pass to Jefferson. Jefferson running, and he is going to be held just short of the first down marker at the 6-yard line. Flag on the play here, so let's see what we got going on here. And it's going to be on the Vikings. So they're going to go back a little bit here. Let's see what the actual call is. And it's going to be an ineligible player downfield for the Vikings there. So that is going to be on number 76. Is that Blake Brandel? It is. Just mentioned him. No, that is... Who is that? No, that's Will Fries. Excuse me. That's Will Fries, 76 right there. Yeah. The ball was snapped, I think, at around the 14. He's standing all the way up past the 10 there. That's one of the issues, one of the flaws of the RPO game. Your offensive line doesn't know whether it's a run or a pass. This is going to be a pass here from Carson Wentz, caught by Jefferson, and he lost his footing trying to spin out of a tackle by Cole Holcomb. So now it will be third down for the Vikings, and here we go. Money down for the Steelers. They were very rough in this department last weekend against the Patriots. Terrible on 3rd and 4th downs. They ultimately came up with a stop in the biggest moment of the game on the Patriots' final drive here. But holding the Vikings to just 3 here would be huge. Wentz takes the snap with time, comes in like a missile. Patrick Queen. Locate, seek, and destroy. Patrick Queen, untouched, levels Wentz, a sack, and the Steelers are going to hold the Vikings to 3. A delayed rush there for Queen. TJ Watt coming off the right side. He was one-on-one with Brian O'Neill. The running back did not chip the oncoming Queen, and Queen came in untouched and got the sack. And now, oh no, we got a man down here for the Vikings. Kick there from, who's that? Is that Will Reichard, the kicker? Yeah, Will Reichard, the kicker for the Vikings. He puts it through. The reason why you saw me stutter my words there, because as soon as Reichard put that one through the uprights to make it 3-0, he was like this to the Vikings sideline, asking for someone to come back out on the field. Carson Wentz came back out like there was going to be a penalty on the Steelers, but instead we had a Viking down. I believe that was number 79 here. 79, is that? No, that's not Javon Hargrave. Is there a 79 here? I'm not seeing a 79 for the Vikings here, so I do not know who that is, but whoever it is, hopefully he is all right. Grabbing at his, leg, so hopefully nothing too serious there. Right now, we got 13 of you in here right now. Welcome to the live stream, and thank you very much for waking up on a Sunday morning. Still 9:50 here on the East Coast of the United States. It's going to be about 2:49 Irish Standard Time. So welcome wherever you are in the world tuning in right now. Hope I can do my best to relay what is going on in the game to you and to give you some good entertainment with my reactions. Vikings up 3-0 right now. Let me real quick update the score bug here. So it is 3-0. 11 of you in here right now. Please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you never miss when I am live again. Also, like, share, leave a comment in the comments section. Any thoughts, questions, or opinions that you may have, get those in there. Super Chat's now available as well. So what your thoughts are on this ongoing game, don't be shy. Anything on your mind, get those in there. A couple of other notes here that I did not get to finish before the game started. Going back to pregame inactives here today for the Steelers and the Vikings. For the Steelers, out, of course, Joey Porter Jr. made the trip with the team to Ireland. He's on the mends from a hamstring injury, was listed as questionable, but I think, unlike Deshaun Elliott, good chance that he was going to miss. We talked about running back Jaylen Warren, him being out. Alex Highsmith, he is out, did not make the trip to Ireland. As this ball is kicked off here by Reichert, this is going to be brought out just shy of the 30-yard line by Trey Sermon, the running back elevated from the practice squad. And the last two inactives, both healthy, out today for the Steelers. Guard Andres Pete and defensive tackle Ezezi Otamewo. So those two gentlemen out. As the Aaron Rodgers-led Steelers offense now returns to the field. Let's see if he can do any better here on this drive. If the Steelers offense can do any better in general, rough start to the game, a non-competitive 3-and-out. So they're going to need to show more right here. 1st and 10 here. It's going to get a pitch to the left here to Kenneth Gainwell, finding a hole and getting up near the 1st down marker. Good yardage there. I think they'll give him a gain of about 8 or 9 yards there. Good stuff there for Rodgers. Showing some interesting next-gen stats here from the NFL. Rodgers on passes under 10 yards, an 83 completion percentage, 4 touchdowns, and no interceptions over that mark, around the 36% mark for completions, 3 touchdowns and 3 INTs apiece. Looks like we got a screenplay here to Calvin Austin. I think that was Darnell Washington out there blocking for him, 1st down yardage for the Steelers. And interesting here. We mentioned how interesting it would be to see how the Steelers fill in Jaylen Warren's role at running back here. Caleb Johnson, the 3rd-round pick out of Iowa, is on the field. Please, I hope he does something here. He needs anything to help build his confidence. I doubt he's out there to pass block. Now he motions out as a slot receiver here. So empty backfield for Rodgers. Rodgers, easy completion over the middle to DK Metcalf. And 1st down gain right there. Metcalf lined up in near the offensive line. He in the slot there. And he had the edge rusher Dallas Turner covering him. Rodgers saw that. Easy catch and run. And a 1st down again for the Steelers. 4:32 left in the 1st quarter and winding down. Rodgers under center here. 12 personnel with Connor Hayward out there. A pitch here to Caleb Johnson. He's going to run to the right there and get a gain of about 2 yards there. Looks like DK Metcalf was tangled up with someone there. I have no idea if that was Josh Metellus or one of the edge rushers. I don't know. Showing the defense now for the Vikings. Of course, we mentioned that excellent group up front featuring Hargrave and Allen and Jonathan Grenard, Dallas Turner. Also got some solid linebackers as well. Going to get to those guys in a second. Rodgers, the pass again. It's going to be a hit in the flat here to Jonnu Smith. He will get up past the line of scrimmage and forward, pushed out of bounds just shy of the 1st down marker. So it's going to be 3rd down coming up here, 3rd and 2 exactly for the Steelers. Mentioned those linebackers for the Vikings. Ivan Pace Jr., the top linebacker for them. Also, they got Eric Wilson as well. Another solid backer. 3rd and 2 here for the Steelers. Gainwell the back to Rodgers left. Taking the snap, back to passes Rodgers. He's got one-on-one. DK Metcalf goes up and over to make the catch on number 8, Jeff Okudah. One-on-one down the left sideline, and Metcalf mossing the former third overall pick for the Lions. Another mention in my matchups for today's game. The Steelers wide receiver, or just receiver in general, against corners. They have the height advantage. Use it. There's one example of it right there. Under center Rodgers. Another quick hitter to Metcalf. Pushing forward. Ethan Ox will not go down. And finally, the whistle is going to blow here. And now we got some pushing after the play here. Broderick Jones getting into it with Javon Hargrave, I believe. Metellus and Isaiah Rodgers, two guys who I mentioned are about 5'11", 5'10", trying to bring down the 6'4", 230 Metcalf. We're not able to do it. Turned into a bit of a rugby scrum there as the whistle blew, but looks like we got no penalties from it. So Metcalf, he's the target early and often here. I love seeing it. Rodgers again here. Steelers inside the 10 at the 7-yard line. First and goal. Gainwell motioning out. Rodgers checks it down to Gainwell. Can he beat his man one-on-one? He cannot, and will be down at the 1-yard line. Had a one-on-one matchup with Josh Metellus there. Couldn't get past him and find Pater. So it's going to be second and goal from the 1 here. And this is the moment where you really miss Jalen Warren and his just bull in a china shop running mentality. They got Connor Hayward out there lined up as a fullback, offset to the left. Kenneth Gainwell, the back again. So we got 13 personnel. The wide receiver is Ben Skoranek. Handoff here to Kenneth Gainwell, and he is in. Touchdown, Steelers. A reassuring drive for that Steelers offense. An absolutely horrendous opening drive with a 3-and-out. They go right down the field. A great set of connections between Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf. Kenneth Gainwell also great on that drive running the football. The kick from Chris Boswell on the way. It is up and it is good. So the Steelers, their first lead of the day, 7-3. Great drive from them. And hopefully more of that to come later today. Great response there. The defense struggled for the Steelers. They stiffened up in the red zone when they needed to. And the offense says thank you to the defense for holding the Vikings to 3. Let's go give you guys a lead to protect. It is 7-3. 11 of you in here right now. Please hit that like button. Share this live stream. Leave a comment in the comment section. And there is our first real non-bot commenter of the day. Flacco, a regular viewer and contributor here on the channel. Welcome back. Let's go. 7-3. Flacco, if you're just joining and just waking up, maybe, who the hell knows? Steelers started with the ball. 3-and-out. Very uncompetitive from the Steelers offense. The Vikings offense looks like they are on the march down the field. They get into the red zone. The defense gets a big stop. Patrick Queen, a sack to end that drive. And then the Steelers offense with Rodgers slinging the pill to DK Metcalf and Kenneth Gainwell getting the run game going a bit. They punch it into the end zone for 6 plus the extra point from Chris Boswell. Now that we are, almost through the first quarter, I guess now would be a good time as any for me to finish my pregame notes here. I just mentioned before that Steelers drive, their inactives for today. Inactives for the Vikings. J.J. McCarthy, their rookie quarterback, who did start the season, still out with a high ankle sprain. That's about a 2 to 4 week injury from him. He is in week 2 of that rehab process. Is in Ireland. because the Vikings, they play next weekend over there as well against the Cleveland Browns, I think. So he is there. Andrew Van Ginkel with a neck. Solid linebacker for the Vikings. He is out. Donovan Jackson, their rookie first-round pick out of Ohio State. He is out with a wrist injury. Tight end Ben Urasek out with a knee. And also out for them, a healthy scratch. Desmond Ridder as the emergency QB3. Walter Rouse, a tackle. Kickoff here for Chris Boswell. It's going to be fielded out about the 5. Brought out here and wrapped up at the knees and taken down. That is number 19 for the Vikings. Still trying to put names to numbers here. That was, let's see here. That was number 19. Who is that? Oh, Adam Thielen. That wasn't Thielen returning. So I have no idea who that was. That might have been 13. Ty Felton, rookie out of, I believe, Maryland. So now the Steelers defense back out there on the field. This is going to be from exactly the 30-yard line. Pitching it here to Jordan Mason. He's going to cut back to the right here and tripped up, taken down by Jalen Ramsey. Another running play where Mason started left, then tried to cut it back to the right to open field. Great track down there by Jalen Ramsey. Leaves it to just a gain of 1 for Mason. Ramsey making a name for himself already here. Had the fake scoop and score that was called back for the Steelers defense. Makes an impact there with a tackle on first down. Steelers showing like they might rush 5 here. They rush 6 1-on-1 and caught down the right sideline for a first down. Jordan Addison. The Steelers brought the blitz. Slay and Addison 1-on-1 down the sideline. Back shoulder for Addison. He makes the catch. And injury to insult here. It looks like Darius Slay is down on a knee, so that is not good. Steelers give up a chunk play there, and no Joey Porter Jr. here today for the Steelers. They can't afford to lose anyone else at corner. Darius Slay, hopefully he will be all right. Looked like he was holding his midsection there, so hopefully he will be all right. Let's see what comes from that here. He will at least need to sit out one snap here when we get back, so hopefully he is all right. 15, 16 of you in here. The numbers just keep on going up. Please, ladies and gentlemen, hit that subscribe button. Let's get more viewership in here. Any chance we get. Hit that subscribe button. Flacco again here. Steelers in Ireland today. It is a home game there. I did see that. About 4-1. The Steelers fans outnumbering Vikings fans there. And, you know, I'm sure you have travelers from the United States and elsewhere, not in Ireland for both teams for this game, but Ireland, that is Steelers territory. We talked about it in the open, the rich Irish heritage that runs through this Steelers team with the Rooney family. And, of course, the late Dan Rooney, who was the United States ambassador to Ireland. So, lots of Steelers fans in Ireland, both foreign and domestic. Addison, I'm worried about. I said that in the open there, Flacco. Addison, you know, Justin Jefferson, you're not going to shut that dude down. He is top 2 wide receiver in the NFL. You can make a case who's over who between him and Jamar Chase, but he's going to eat, so you can let him have his little bit. Don't let him, you know, of course, go off for like 10 receptions and 200 yards here, but he's going to, you know, have his share of receptions and yards. Limit him as best you can, but you better shut down everyone else. Jordan Addison, fresh, coming off a 3-game suspension, was a Biletnikoff Award winner for Best College Wide Receiver the year he came out of the draft. I think many people forget that. So, yeah, they're going to need to shut him down. Also, TJ Hawkinson, I don't think Hawkinson has gotten a look yet, but I'm worried about him as well. Top two, I think him and CD Lamb. Yeah, Lamb's good too. If I had to put him out there, I'd probably go Jefferson, and then slightly below him, Jamar Chase, and then slightly below Chase, CD Lamb. 1st and 10 here for the Vikings from the Steelers' 47-yard line. Looks like we got a screenplay out here to the aforementioned Justin Jefferson. Gain of a handful of yards there. It's going to be 2nd down. This is the first play. That was the first play of the 2nd quarter. So I think either way, you were going to get a stoppage in play and a commercial, slay down and the quarter end. They're officially marked it a gain of 5 for Jefferson. Joe Davis and Greg Olson on the call for this game on NFL Network. Steelers rush 5. Now they rush 6 and into the backfield and getting the stop there. Jordan Mason goes down. Looks like Peyton Wilson shooting up from the middle linebacker position gets into the backfield for the loss. The Vikings go backwards 2 yards on that play. And that is a positive sign there for Peyton Wilson. We've been waiting for him to start making some plays and not looking like a pushover against the run. Had a rough first 2 weeks of the season. Cole Holcomb has been getting more reps at middle linebacker, but Wilson in this reduced role, I'm sure he might grow back into a starter's budget of snaps, but fantastic play here. We got a flag. False start on the Vikings. March them back another 5. And that crowd at Croke Park in Dublin, Ireland, a Steelers madhouse fan haven. They making it loud there. That was Christian Darrisaw, the left tackle, who, when I was doing a little bit of research on Darrisaw, still shocked he has not had a Pro Bowl yet in his career. Though I think, it's coming someday for him. He's solid. I think a top 10 left tackle. Now from 3rd and 7 to 3rd and 12, motioning is the running back. Wentz back to pass. Pressure all around him. Tracked down from behind and taken down. And it is Nick Herbig. The Wisconsin Hawaiian takes him down and make it 4th and 23. The Steelers edge rushers, they are hunting. Great stuff there. 4-man rush. I said watch the matchups of the tackles against the Wisconsin boys. Herbig beats Darrisaw with a speed move, running around the edge there and takes him down. Splash play extraordinaire. Punt is on the way from the Vikings. This one is going to hit at about the 23-yard line, and it'll settle at exactly the 20. So just as good of a touchback. Great stuff there for the Steelers defense again. Hot start for them. They had the fumble that ended up getting called back. They stifle the Vikings' opening drive in the red zone, force them to get 3. And I think the Vikings might have been in field goal range there. The Steelers push them out of field goal range with 2 backward plays and a penalty. So fantastic stuff there from the Steelers defense. To the comment section we go again. Flacco, hell yeah to all those plays. The Peyton Wilson stop, the Nick Herbig sack. Jaeger, welcome back. Jaeger, go Steelers. A Yinzer from France, welcome back again. The game closer to you than it is to us this week, Jaeger. So I think that is cool. Flacco, 70 to 30% Steelers fans. Yeah, it is crazy. I mean, sure, you get your smatterings of purple and gold that you see there in the stands, but black and gold all the way. If you just, were watching the Steelers social media accounts leading up to this game, it's been crazy. Fans out in public. They've had pop-up Steeler Pro Shop stores all around Dublin, lines backed up for literally like a mile. Pretty much anyone who is a famous Steelers alumni player is over there. Roethlisberger, Pouncey, Taylor, Kiesel, Starks, Porter, Bryant McFadden. Pretty much a who's who of Steelers celebrities over there, and the Steelers fans who have been waiting for a regular season game, but since 1997, when the Steelers were over there for a preseason game against the Bears, they have been waiting a very long time for this game to come to Dublin, and they're finally getting it, and they are making their voices heard. You have got to love it. Got a picture-in-picture commercial break here. Aaron Rodgers and the offense back out there on the field. Seen a lot of DK Metcalf targets. I like it. I'm going to be mentioning it all day long, probably. The Steelers, they have the size advantage. Their receiving threats against this defensive back group for the Vikings. Let's see if they continue their success rate here. Rodgers gets the play call in. Looks like we got 13 personnel for the Steelers. Gainwell, the back to Rodgers' right. Darnell Washington lined up as a swing tackle here. Ben Skoranek in motion. Rodgers taking the snap, back to pass. Firing over the middle, caught on a slant by DK Metcalf. He's off to the races. Up past the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10, and one play. 80 yards. Rodgers to Metcalf. What is happening? The Steelers have taken it to the house. They just needed one play. Wide open in the middle of the field with Metcalf. He had to beat Harrison Smith, who whiffed on the tackle. Great blocking downfield at the 10-yard line by Calvin Austin on Josh Metellus. And DK Metcalf with Rodgers. A picture-perfect shot. Arms up all the way. Touchdown. Steelers extra point. Up and good from Chris Boswell. And the Steelers splash play, an explosive play. Where the hell has that been for this offense? 14-3, just like that. 12-16 remaining. Tomlin fired up, giving a point out there on the field. Hell yeah. From the boys. Let's go. Flacco's fired up. Let's freaking go, DK. Let's go here. Unbelievable start. And that's another thing that we've been waiting for as well. The Steelers against the Patriots last week. They did not throw to the middle of the field at all. They've done it a couple of times so far, and that one a big hitter. Unbelievable. Yes, Flacco, indeed, I see that. DK smashed that defender. Yeah, he had to. Austin did good blocking for about 30 yards downfield. The last 5, Metcalf ran over Josh Metellus to get into the end zone, which, I mean, Metellus is here. What's Josh Metellus? Josh Metellus, he is, this will load, he's 5'10", or 5'11", 208 pounds, going up against DK Metcalf, who's well over 230, and built like a brick you-know-what house. So, excellent stuff there. Big splash play, 14-3. The Steelers just one play from the 20 all the way to the end zone. I don't know who to give credit to on that, whether it was Rodgers for seeing something or Arthur Smith designed that play up. Whoever it is, though, probably both. Credit to him. That was a perfectly called and executed play right there. We so needed this. Yes, we did need this hot start, which hasn't been out of the ordinary. The Steelers offense, for as hot and cold as they have been, they have gotten out to hot starts. I believe also, wasn't that their first offensive drive was a 3-and-out. But in all 3 of their games before this one, they put up points on their first drive. First drive today, 3-and-out, but their last 2 drives, 7 points on each of them. Big man was moving indeed, says my dad in the comments. I mean, not only is he 6'4", 230 pounds, he is an absolute burner. A man that size should not move that fast. like a semi with the brake lines cut going down the highway at 80 miles an hour. You best get out of the way. Kickoff here from Chris Boswell. This is going to be fielded at the 5 and brought back here. That is number 13, Ty Felton, and he is going to be chopped down at the knees by Connor Hayward. Excellent stop there. Vikings going to be working on a short field here. And Hayward given the shoe there. Mike Tomlin and Jabril Peppers fired up as he reaches the sideline. So the Vikings, not a great return there on the kickoff. 1st and 10 here. Vikings look like they are going to run 13 personnel. I assume that they run a ton of it because they got TJ Hawkinson. Sure, they also have Josh Oliver at tight end. But when you got Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Jalen Naylor, Adam Thielen, you're going to want to get as many wide receivers out there on the field as possible. Handoff here to Jordan Mason is going nowhere. Excellent tackling there. Ran to the left. Nothing was open. Steelers swarmed the area and took him down for no gain. 2nd and 10 now. With the clock still here. 11:47 and winding down. This is going to be from the Vikings 26 here. Empty backfield now for the Vikings. Motioning out. That is number 36 for the Vikings. Xavier Scott taking the snap as Wentz. Firing. Caught at the 30 by Addison, I believe. Wrapped up and slung down by Nick Herbig. So a small gain there. It's going to be 3rd and medium here. 3rd and 5 for the Vikings. There's that 3rd down horn that they always play at Acrisure Stadium. They brought it to Dublin with them. Also, we're going to be waiting later on in this ball game, hearing that Renegade also made its way to Ireland. Hawkinson lined up out wide, now motions back into the slot. Xavier Scott, the back again to Wentz's right, and looks like we got a timeout here. Who is it going to be for? Mike Tomlin bringing Patrick Queen over to the sideline. He is, I don't know if he's upset with Queen. Very loud right in Queen's face here. Who took the timeout? I'm going to assume with Tomlin reacting the way he did that it was the Steelers who took a timeout. Maybe some miscommunication or they didn't get lined up in the right play too quickly there. So interesting here. 14 of you in here. Please hit that subscribe button. Turn on the notifications if you are new here. Like, share, leave a comment just like Flacco and Yeager and SCSR Dad have done thus far. Both quarterbacks perfect so far. Wentz 8 for 8, 76 yards. Rodgers 9 for 9. 3rd and 5 here. Back to pass. Can the Steelers get the first? Incompletion. They will not caught at the line to gain. That is Adam Thielen. Recently brought back. The Vikings traded back for him right before the season began. He catches it at the line to gain right in between two Steelers defenders. Queen and Brandon Eccles on the stop there after the first down gain. 10-15 and winding down here in the first half. Jordan Mason lined up as a wide receiver, now motions into the backfield. Wentz under center. Steelers look like they rush 5. They rush 4. Wentz to pass. Now steps up and runs it, and he is going to be taken down. Gets a gain of 1. But TJ Watt, you could see it, him coming from a mile away. He came in with that fist clenched, and he was punching at that ball as he took down Wentz. Think they're going to give him a gain of 1. But nothing open downfield. Great job in pass coverage. Interesting coverage there by the Steelers. I'm not sure. It might have been Daniel Ekuale lined up on the left edge. He dropped back into coverage, and Jalen Ramsey rushed there. Wentz the pass again. Caught short here by Jefferson. He is going to lower his head and try to push forward, but he will be held about 2 yards short of the first down So it's going to be 3rd and 1, actually, they give him here. I think that was Slay and Ramsey, the two high-profile corners the Steelers brought in on the stop. 3rd and short. Steelers, the 3rd down horn blares again. Terrible towels waving. You do see from that camera angle a little bit more purple. 3rd and 1. Handoff to Addison. He's going to lower his shoulder, and he held short. That was to Jordan Mason. Excuse me, not Addison. They are going to hold him short. I think so. Hang on. Hang on. They're going to go with a virtual measurement. This is the first time we've seen this for the Steelers this year. So let's see if they pop it up here. This is something new the NFL's doing this year. Chip in the football. They now kind of like in tennis where they have the virtual measurement of where the ball is. Let's see here. Are they going to show it or not? They're just showing the replay here. Handoff to Mason. Lowered his head. TJ Watt and Derek Harmon wrap him up, and he is going to be short 9 inches. The exact measurement of how much he was short by. So it's 4th and 1 here, but predictably enough, the Vikings keeping the offense out there. 9 inches to gain here. They might just try to QB sneak this, maybe a tush push here. 12 personnel, Hawkinson and Josh Oliver out there on the field. 4th and 1. Steelers with big men. They have Y.A. Black, Derek Harmon, and Cam Hayward up front here. It's going to be a handoff here to Jordan Mason, and he finds a hole and then some up past the 50 and in the Steelers' territory. They weren't really wrapped up or lined up like they were going to sneak it. Jordan Mason was lined up in sort of a fullback position. Justin Jefferson was lined up as running back. Handoff to Mason, and he just bounced it outside to the right there. Great wrap tackle by, I think that might have been Deshaun Elliott there to make sure Mason didn't house it. From the 45 of the Steelers now, Wentz back to pass in an empty backfield screen here. Caught by Xavier Scott, and great tackle there by Nick Herbig. Only a gain of 2.5 on the play. Vikings had about 2 or 3 guys out there blocking, and the shorter Herbig able to weave his way through traffic there to get the stop. They're going to give him a gain of 3, but honestly, it was a gain of 2.5. Wentz breaks the huddle here. Looks like we got 13 personnel for the Vikings. Hawkinson as a down lineman beside the right tackle. Wentz makes a check. Scott, the running back, gets the pitch here. Coming into the backfield and nearly missing, and then taken down there. Jalen Ramsey immediately in the backfield as Scott got that pitch. He got away from Ramsey, but Juan Thornhill came up and still got him behind the line of scrimmage. Loss of 1 on the play. Great tackling by these DBs early in this ball game. Something we've been holding out for. Textbook at the knees. Thornhill sending Scott end over end. 3rd and 8 now for the Steelers. Now they get the 3rd down stop. 3 wide receiver bunch at the top of the screen. Firing over the middle. It's intercepted. Picked off by Deshaun Elliott, and he finally goes down. Got up, tried to run a little bit, but slipped and fell. The Steelers, they get the turnover again. Let's go. And an Irish jig in the end zone for Deshaun Elliott and the Steelers defense. You kind of figured that the ball was going to go there. They had a 3-receiver bunch of Jefferson, Addison, and Thielen to the left of the formation. Addison running an in and then cut it back out. A misfire from Wentz, picked off by Deshaun Elliott in zone coverage, and the Steelers, they're not going to take that turnover away. It's going to be their ball. They, again, taking points off the board from the Minnesota Vikings. In the comments, Flacco, my dad fired up. Miscommunication. Flacco, damn it, for the third down, the 4th and 1 play that they needed to gain 9 yards. Mason got vision. He's back. Flacco, he's back. Deshaun Elliott making his presence known. Indeed. Guess who's back? Back again. Ellie's back. Tell Carson Wentz that because he threw it right to him. Didn't even know he was there. So that turns the tide again in favor of the Steelers. The defense, I guess it took a series for each unit to get into the ball game. The offense, first drive, very ugly. Since then, they've been damn near perfect. The defense, same thing. The Vikings march down the field. They stop them, force them to go for 3, and now they have been on a roll. So excellent stuff there from this team immediately. 16 of you in here right now. Please hit that subscribe button. Let's go to Twitter here, see if we have any new news. By the way, I don't mean, the Steelers just got a turnover here. I don't mean to turn this topic grim here. Besides the Jaylen Warren not playing today news, we also got some terrible news that happened on the Steelers trip into Dublin Thursday into Friday. The Steelers, Friday night, quarterback Skylar Thompson on IR right now, was jumped and robbed Friday night in Dublin. He did suffer minor injuries, but is okay. Steelers spokesperson Burt Lawton said that they are aware of the situation. They are working with NFL security, and they have no other information or comment at this time. So thoughts and prayers with Skylar Thompson. Thank God that he is all right. Obviously, scary situation when you get robbed and mugged like that. Could have been way worse. But thankfully, he is all right. 1st and 10 here for the Steelers from their own about 32-yard line. Pass here out to Darnell Washington. Solid gain of 7 yards there. So, good job there. Finding Darnell Washington for the first time today. I want to see him get used a whole bunch there. Showing replays here of the Carson Wentz INT. 2nd and 3 here. The Steelers from their own 39. Kenneth Gainwell to Rogers left. Heavy set here. 12 personnel. Handoff to Gainwell, running to the left where the tight ends are. And I think he'll get just enough for first down yardage here before he is stopped. Great start here to this game for the Steelers. Can they continue it? By the way, seeing a picture here, Skylar Thompson, the robbery victim, is on the sideline for the Steelers game. So he is still with the team. Thank goodness. 1st and 10 here for the Steelers. Rogers takes the snap, back to pass, firing over the middle, and maybe a miscommunication or the pressure got to him there. Fired it in the ground to the right of Jonnu Smith. I think that's more the Vikings bringing pressure more than anything. Seeing a couple other things here on Twitter. Apparently, Bill Murray and Jason Kelsey over there in Dublin for this game. Also, I have not seen anything. If someone else has seen this, you can let me know. There was a rumor out there, not from anybody really credible, that Conor McGregor was going to lead the Steelers out, but he did not. So, would have been cool. Run here, I think, from Kenneth Gainwell, gain of 9 yards there, or at least a catch pass of 9 yards there. DK Metcalf today, 4 receptions, over 100 yards and a score. He's off the field for this snap, though. 3rd and 1 for the Steelers now. Gainwell in the backfield. Rodgers under center. Looks like we got maybe 13 personnel, and Gainwell lowers his head and just runs through bodies to get the first down. So the Steelers converting again. Maybe a little bit of opposition here for the Vikings, but the Steelers still pushing forward. And now we got rough stuff after the fact here in a flag. Broderick Jones just had someone by the collar. Mason McCormick pointing the other way here. Let's see here. Jones there. Ben Skoranek and Byron Murphy Jr. and Isaac Seumalo and Broderick Jones, Mason McCormick coming to the defense of their guys. Rough stuff after the whistle. It was kind of away from the play. Skoranek and Byron Murphy. Let's see what the penalty is here. And they only get the Vikings, so great stuff there. Sure, Skoranek might have played to the echo of the whistle there, but Murphy shoves him down to the ground. He gets the penalty. Tack on another 15 for the Steelers. And also, I'm loving the camaraderie. The Steelers, Seumalo, McCormick, Jones coming to the defense of their guy. Love it. Some feistiness and chippiness from the Steelers O-line early in this ball game. To the comments here real quick. Flocka, again, you heard the rumor Jets may be shopping Breece Hall. Someone did bring that up on Friday there, Flocko. Now, with Jalen Warren out, I don't know how serious his knee injury is. I'd be intrigued by it, but still, though, I'd much rather get a wide receiver than Breece Hall. As much as I love him, and I'm sure the Steelers love him too, because they have a fascination with guys who just light them up every time they play them. So the Steelers, I would have no doubt if those rumors are true that they would have interest. Still, though, I think this team needs a legit wide receiver too more than anything. I'd call asking the Jets about Garrett Wilson more than I would, Breece Hall. But even Garrett Wilson, that's probably even more of a far-fetched than Hall. Aren't he and Rodgers not too simpatico? Go back to their time as a Jet. Darnell Washington motioning in here from right to left. Rushing for the Vikings. Rodgers back to pass. Check down here to Caleb Johnson and off his hands and incomplete. And man, some tough times for the rookie 3rd round pick. Sure, that throw maybe the tiniest bit offline, but still a very, very catchable ball for Caleb Johnson. Could not reel it in. One of his issues coming out of college was his receiving abilities. And now it's 3rd and 9 for the Steelers. They're at the Vikings 31.5-yard line. Rodgers takes the snap, back to pass. Moving all around in the pocket. Now steps up. He's going to run it. Rodgers, he's going to have the first down. Ball came loose. Picked up by Broderick Jones. And taken down. Jeez Louise. What a crazy sequence. Regardless here, the Steelers are going to have the first down. Rodgers. Let me give you a track here of his movements. Back to pass. Steps to the left, up to the right, and takes off. He gets first down yardage. And then from behind, Jonathan Grenard punches the ball out. The ball pinballs off the ground and perfectly pops up right to Broderick Jones, who in stride takes it and runs for a couple more yards forward. That is the most Cirque du Soleil crap that I have seen this year from the Steelers. From a 42-year-old showing off the wheels to then big Broderick Jones with a big man run. That is crazy. That's insane. Hell yeah. Steelers are going to have the first down regardless. I'm not sure here. I think the 2-minute warning might have hit here. Let me, real quick, I haven't had a chance to bring up ESPN yet. That's the damnedest thing that I've seen from the Steelers this year. It's not the 2-minute warning. I think that's a timeout taken on the field. 2:34. Assuming, no, it is the 2-minute warning. Okay. It is the 2-minute warning there in Dublin. Steelers on a 3rd and 9. Rodgers scrambling for a first down. The ball gets knocked loose like a bouncy ball off the ground right into Darnell or Broderick Jones's hands. He gets a couple of extra yards on top of that. I'm not sure if those yards are going to count. I think once the ball is fumbled, you can't advance it. But either way, that's a hell of a play. Hell of a play. To the comments we go. Flacco again. WR2 for sure. I'd love Garrett Wilson. You kidding me? That's a fantasy wide receiver. I would love Garrett Wilson. I would love nothing more than to get Garrett Wilson, pairing him with DK Metcalf, but I just don't think it's possible. The Jets aren't going to want to get rid of him, and also, do he and Rodgers really have that great of a relationship? I doubt it. Flacco, that was scary. Yeah, Rodgers did take a hell of a hit there from Grenard. I think, Grenard was going for the ball more than anything, but as my dad says here, Rodgers, good spirits. As he's laying there on the ground, he's like looking over his shoulder, like say my chair, the back of my chair is the ground. He's like looking back, still pointing for the first down. That's hilarious from Rodgers. Absolutely incredible. Broderick Jones has more yards than Caleb Johnson. This is wild. Yeah, he does. I mean, that's about a 3-yard gain after the fact from Broderick Jones, and Johnson had 2. So, yeah. Hell yeah, there. Broderick Jones. First down yardage. Rodgers during the break laughing and upset with himself, but in a joking manner with Arthur Smith and company. I'm sure Mike Tomlin's going to get on his ass for ball security. That's always been a big pet peeve of Tomlin's. But hey, somehow, some way, the Steelers, they're in the red zone here from the 15. Rodgers taking the handoff, rolls out, hits big Darnell Washington. Who's going to tackle him? He's still going. Oh, my God. Isaiah Rodgers, 5'10", probably a $190 soaking wet, if that. He just tried to tackle basically an offensive lineman who's playing tight end. And Washington, like the Incredible Hulk, just like smacked them down to the ground with one hand. That is crazy. I love the game of football that you can have such discrepancies between two players that you get that matchup. That's crazy. It's going to be 2nd and 5 now for the Steelers from about the 10 1/4. Rodgers to pass. Jonnu Smith was the fullback, and Rodgers going to be slung down and taken down here. Lost on the play. 2nd sack of the game for Jalen Redmond, the nose tackle. Got Rodgers out around the shoulder pads there and just flung him around backwards there. Thank goodness Rodgers looks to be up and all right. And I have no idea what happened there. Looks like Redmond came in not untouched, but with little resistance. Sayamalu and Zach Frazier, I guess, miscommunication on who was taking him there. Rodgers goes down. From 2nd and 5 now to 3rd and 15, a loss of 10. 1:49 remaining. The Vikings did take a timeout, saving as much clock time as possible for them to get the ball back with some time on the clock before halftime. They do get the ball after halftime too, so the Steelers putting up points here is going to be huge because the Vikings, they're probably going to get the ball back with over 1:30 left, and they're probably going to have a chance to do a double score here. Rodgers back to pass, checking it down here to Kenneth Gainwell. He's got a lot of ways to go, and he is only going to get back to the 12-yard line. So it's going to be 4th down now, and the Steelers, they're going to bring out the field goal unit here. Vikings just took their 2nd timeout. They got one left, so 1:41, probably around 1:35, and one timeout is what they're going to have left here in this half. A couple other comments here real quick. Jones, this is my moment. That was Jones's moment. It was Brody's time to shine, not Brucey's time to shine. It's Brody's time to shine. I'm not even sure Jones if he got the ball. Let's just say that Grenard and Rogers went down. Let's just say it was those two around, and Jones gets that ball and no one's around him. He's not gonna, look to get upfield. He's probably looking for contact. He's had so much pent up aggression so far in this game. Jones has been in the middle of every single scuffle. He's probably just, I got the ball. Oh my God. They just blocked the kick. Snap was good. Kick was good. And yep, the Vikings blocked it. Damn it. Vikings block the chip shot field goal. I'm not sure how the hell that happens. Honestly, Boz, you've got an iron leg. You should be standing no more than 5 feet off of that ball. How the hell it got blocked, I have no idea. But anyways, kick gets blocked. So the Steelers, they do not add to their lead. It remains 14-3. Good news, I guess, off of that is that the Vikings are going to be on a pretty short field here. So the Steelers, the way their defense is performing, they can make it really hard on this Vikings team to put up points before half. Hopefully that's the case here. 13 of you in here right now. Please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you never miss when I am live again. To the comments again here, Flacco, LOL, failed that block. Yeah, I have no idea how Jalen Redmond came in pretty much untouched there. I got to watch that one back. Can't believe that was blocked. That's what I'm saying, Freight Train. Welcome, Freight Train. How the hell, Boswell, he could kick a 15-yard field goal from his opposite leg. Like, I don't know how the hell that got blocked. The operation was clean. Guy came off of the left edge untouched, I guess, with a ton of speed. But if you're Boswell, why are you not like pretty much lined up where the ball is going to be and put that through immediately? So, anyways, score remains 14-3. The Vikings will have to go not the length of the field, but a good bit of it here. So, going to take real quick a 30-second break. We have been on here for an hour and a half now, and this is now with, a minute. Well, never mind now. Game just came back from commercial break. I was going to take the first, action break of the game here, but nonstop action here. Let's see this. That dude came in unblocked. Boswell took like 3 or 4 steps to get to that ball. I don't know. I think that's just a failure all the way around for the special teams. Anyways, here, the Vikings backed up at their own 9-yard line. Steelers rush 4 here. Wentz from the goal line here. Pump fakes, gets rid of it here. That's the number 36, Xavier Scott, and he is going to be up past the 20. So a first down gain on first down for the Vikings here. And the clock will continue to roll here. We got a flag down here, so hold on. Let's see what this flag is here. They have not stopped the clock yet, so they're going to need to reset it. There, they stopped the clock. Oh my God. Roughing the passer on Derek Harmon. Are you kidding me? Oh my God. I can't even argue with that one. I know the game's gone soft, calling, quarterback penalties. But Harmon there, that one was just dumb of him. Wentz gets rid of the ball, and he just two-hand shoves him in the shoulder and the head. So, not going to really I'd say it's soft, but also I can see where that's coming from there with the referees. So, first down catch there on the check down from Wentz to Scott. They add on more on top of it. They all of a sudden, on one play and a penalty, go from the 9 to the 34. Empty backfield for Wentz. Steelers, they rush 4 here. Wentz, deep shot, and it is going to be through the hands of Scott. Incomplete. The running back, Scott, got behind a couple of defenders, and that ball just out of reach. Might have gator-armed it a little bit trying to basket catch it. Tough read for him. Had to sort of arch his body back to look for the ball. But 2nd and 10 now. Wentz with the running back to his left. Steelers look like they might bring 6 here. They do. Pressure on Wentz, throwing over the middle, caught by Jefferson. Near the 50, and another first down for the Vikings. They actually brought 7 there, the Steelers did. Great job there by Wentz to get rid of that ball. Steelers brought pressure. This time they bring 4. Wentz to pass. Scrambling all around. Now rolls out to the right. Wentz fires, and it's going to be caught and out of bounds at about the 42 is Xavier Scott. So the Vikings rolling down the field here right now. They're showing the replay of that first down conversion a moment ago from Wentz to Jefferson. Great pass by Wentz. Got it around the hand of an oncoming rusher and hit Jefferson in stride. Back to pass again is Wentz. Pressure all around him. He escapes it, steps up, throwing wide open. Justin Jefferson at the 20. He slips down at the 18. If Jefferson stays on his feet, he might be in the end zone there. But this grass at Croke Park, the turf monster, it's gotten a couple of players already today. And that time, the turf monster might have saved a touchdown for the Steelers. Wentz to pass again. Pressure all around. Just flings it here to Xavier Scott. Taken down for a loss of 2 by Patrick Queen. The Vikings moving fast here, but looks like they finally take a timeout. And Jefferson here just pounding the ground here. Still upset with himself that he fell down. That could have costed his team 6 points. Wentz again escaping pressure. The Steelers had 3 defenders lined up across the 35-yard line, and behind all 3 of them was Jefferson, wide open. And he just fell. He had to reach back a little bit to make that catch. But, yeah, he just fell and couldn't get back up. Peyton Wilson came in and made sure he was touched down. Jefferson, very, very upset with himself. So, after that big play and then the loss here, Wentz looked like he was wrapped up and about to go down. Just pitched it to his running back, Scott, for a loss of 2 from the 15 here. 2nd and 12 for the Vikings. Wentz back to pass, looking to the left. Fires there. Off the hands of T.J. Hawkinson. And incomplete. Peyton Wilson was in coverage. Hawkinson could have made the catch. It just clanked off of his hands, incomplete, and now it's 3rd and 12. And if you're the Vikings here, the way that this is looking, this is the first down marker is at the 3-yard line. This has pretty much got to be a shot to the end zone here. The Vikings have no timeouts in 20 seconds. This has got to be a shot to the end zone or something out of bounds inside the 3. They want to keep the offense out there. Snap taken by Wentz. He's going to float up a prayer, and it is going to be incomplete. An absolute rainbow of rainbows there from Carson Wentz, looking for Jordan Addison one-on-one, and Darius Slay tried to toe tap. He's the one who caught it. He tried to toe tap it, but it was out of bounds there. That could have not only been, not a touchdown for the Vikings, that could have been a pick. I have no idea why Wentz threw that ball. It was absolutely horrendous. Anyways, Will Reichert, the kicker from the right hash, 33-yard attempt here. And we got a flag. Oh my goodness. Jalen Ramsey, a false start from him, or a jump offsides from him. He was in the backfield. He was in the backfield and standing right in front of the holder before that ball was even snapped. So that just moves up this field goal by a little bit. That's hilarious. I mean, he's probably going to put this through either way, but that's funny there from Ramsey. 28-yard field goal now for Reichert. Ramsey again looking like he might pressure. He does not kick straight and true there. So the Vikings, they do get 3, and they bring this game back within 1 score before halftime. It's going to be an 8-point game. Second half, I assume, is going to be coming up here in a moment. If I had to guess here, the Steelers, they're probably going to, the Vikings, they'll probably kick this back for a touchback. Steelers will kneel it out with not much time. Well, I don't know. The Vikings, they might kick it here, take as much time as they can off the clock. Steelers might have a chance for one quick play, a timeout, and then maybe a 60-plus yard field goal from Chris Boswell. So who knows there. Peyton Wilson, they just showed there on the sideline, talking very animately with Mike Tomlin. So wonder what that is about. Justin Jefferson, they're showing there, still on the sideline, seething. This was a cartoon. Steam would still be coming out of his ears because he is not a happy camper right now. That slip might have costed his team 6 points. Kickoff coming up here from Will Reichert. Back to receive this kick again is Kenneth Gainwell and Trey Sermon. No surprise, Sermon is out there, elevated from the practice squad. I think he did a little bit of returning work last week against the Patriots. This one heading the way this time of Kenneth Gainwell. It's going to be fielded at the 1-yard line. So great kick there by Reichert. Gainwell spinning his way up to the 23-yard line, and with 6 seconds left to go here in the half. Probably going to be a kneel down here from Rodgers, and they'll take this game into halftime. Showing a cool graphic here of the Steelers' lineage here, from the Chief, Art Rooney, to Dan Rooney, to the first preseason game in Dublin back in 1997, and I assume also to Art Rooney. Didn't know this. They're popping up another graphic here. Croke Park, the largest sporting arena in Ireland, holds 82,500 people. That is quite the venue they got there, and I'm sure it is filled to max capacity here today. Steelers are in kneel-down formation here, and Rodgers does take that. So off to halftime we go. All in all, positive start to this ball game. Real quick here, Aaron Rodgers bumping a couple of guys here on his way out. Vikings players, Broderick Jones giving the old WWF rock. Come on, you want to say something. So we go into halftime. Steelers up 14-6. Game didn't start out so hot. First offensive drive was an ugly 3-and-out, and the defense looks like the Vikings were going to march right down the field on the Steelers defense. Then Steelers, their offense, back-to-back touchdown drives. The defense, a couple of solid stops, including an interception from Deshaun Elliott. And then things kind of turned back in favor of the Vikings a little bit. They blocked the Chris Boswell field goal, and they did not score a touchdown there. They came close to it. They did not, but they put up another 3 points before half. So it's a one-score game right now, 14-6. Flacco again here. Our defense and hurry-up offense in hurry-up is awful. Yeah, it's awkward. Yeah, it almost looks like they have no idea what to do. And they've been burnt by it time and time again. Flacco, Buccaneers Stadium holds 750,000 or 75,000 people. Insane. That is insane. I guess that's why they held a WrestleMania there a couple years ago and a Super Bowl before. Steelers won that one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are officially at halftime here, 14-6. Going to take a little bit of a break here, but please do not go anywhere. We will be back just before halftime ends. We'll talk about what has gone on in this game thus far. Talk about anything that we could see in the second half. And we'll be back here in a little bit to do this all again. Live reaction and commentary to the second half of play. 14-6 in favor of the Steelers. Vikings get the ball back to begin the second half. While I am gone, if you are new here, 13 of you in here right now, please hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications so that you never miss when I am live or upload a video again. Like, share, comment on the live stream. Get your comments in the chat right now. And we will pop those up and discuss when we get back. Flacco, beer break before noon. Hey, don't tempt me with a good time. Back after half, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a quick breather. Steelers 14, Vikings 9. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Looks like we got a halftime performance going on right now. Not sure exactly who that is, but hey, kudos to him. Second half, I guess, gonna be happening here maybe a little bit later on now. In about, I don't know, probably 15, 20 minutes or so now with this guy out here. I didn't know this guy was coming on, or else I would have held off on this. But hey, we'll at least talk a little bit about the first half stats and what all has gone down, and then we'll take another little bit of a break before the second half. Solid first half for the Pittsburgh Steelers, 14-6. You see the score right there, and solid plays all around. Plays made by the big guys on offense and defense. Aaron Rodgers, 12 for 14, 165 yards and 1 touchdown so far today. Kenneth Gainwell, he's gotten 5 of only 8 running attempts by the Steelers today, 5 for 24 yards there. DK Metcalf, when they throw him the ball, he is catching it. 4 receptions, 122 yards and 1 touchdown, already a season high by a long shot for him this year. Everyone else below him, 20 yards or less receiving. Kenneth Gainwell, 3 catches. Darnell Washington, 2. Jonnu Smith, 2. Calvin Austin, 1. So it's the DK and Metcalf and Aaron Rodgers show today, everyone. It's their world, and we are just living in it. On defense, the Steelers welcome back Deshaun Elliott. 3 tackles so far in this game today. I expect that number to increase as the game goes on. 1 interception picked off Carson Wentz in Steelers territory, so solid for him. Peyton Wilson has had a good game so far. In my opinion, Nick Herbig, he has a sack in this game, continues to make splash plays. On the Vikings side of the ball here, Carson Wentz, 16 for 20. He and Aaron Rodgers at one point perfect together in their completion percentages. Wentz 16 for 20 now, 154 yards through the air and an interception. Justin Jefferson's 8 targets, 8 receptions. Remember how I said the Steelers need to limit him? They're not going to shut him out, but they need to limit him. Well, they need to focus on him a little bit more now. 8 receptions, 97 yards for him. Almost had a touchdown had he kept his footing. The receivers behind him, Jordan Addison, the Vikings number 2. He has 27 yards on 2 receptions, and everyone else there, 18 yards or less. So sounds like it's going to be the quarterbacks looking for their top wide receivers all game long. Let's see if the team's made any sort of adjustment to that here in the second half. Defense for the Vikings, Jalen Redmond, nose tackle, 2 sacks for him. 1 on the first play of the game, and then Isaac Seumalo whiffed on a block when the Steelers were in the red zone. That resulted in a 10-yard loss. So tough sledding here for some members of the Steelers offensive line. Broderick Jones has been solid so far. The team altogether, positive first half. Very much better than what I was anticipating coming into this game here today. So let's see if they can continue it here in the second half. Commercial again. It looks like that halftime show is over. So going to take one more break here. We will be back in a couple of moments with kickoff of the second half between the Steelers and the Minnesota Vikings at Croke Park in Dublin, Ireland. All right, and we are back. Quick commercial break, just like that. They really moved quickly to get that whole stage and everything off the field. But anyways, kickoff is away. Chris Boswell punts it deep, fielded at the 4-yard line, and bringing it out up past the 30, down at the 32. That is number 4 for the Vikings, Miles Price. So a solid return there for the Vikings. Doesn't quite get it out to where a touchback would have been, but solid starting field position here for Minnesota. Carson Wentz in this Viking offense taking the field once again. It looks like there is no Brian O'Neill for the Vikings. Looks like we got David Skule in there. I believe that's who it is. No, Justin Skule, the backup tackle. He is in there at right tackle. Was in there for a good chunk of the first half as well. So no Brian O'Neill, the 2-time Pro Bowler at right tackle for the Vikings. That run there on 1st and 10 for Minnesota doesn't really go all that far. 3-yard run for Jordan Mason. This is now at just shy of the 35-yard line. Wentz takes the snap, backs the pass. Looks like we got a screenplay here to Jordan Mason, and it's going nowhere. Peyton Wilson, reading that was coming, fires into the backfield for a loss. The guard couldn't get out to block him quick enough. Great pursuit speed there by Peyton Wilson. Hell of a play there by the second-year man out of NC State. 3rd and 11 now for the Steelers. A 3-and-out would be ideal here to begin this second half of play. Wentz takes the snap, back to pass. Steelers bring in 5. Pressure all around him. He's going down. Nick Herbig and Cam Hayward. No, that is Keanu Benton, excuse me. 2 Wisconsin Badgers taking Wentz down. There's a flag. And it is going to be a holding on the offense, so the play does not matter. Penalty declined. And it is the Wisconsin boys, came out of the same draft class, who get the sack. Herbig with the stunt inside. Benton wraps up his leg. Herbig finishes him off up high, and Wentz goes down a 3-and-out for the Steelers defense. Fantastic work right there out of the half. Right the punter on. He gets it away. Back to field this is Calvin Austin. He will take it at his own 29 near the sideline. He runs backwards. What the hell is he doing? Deontay Austin caught that ball at the 29, went back to around the 25 there. Dude, just go out of bounds. You got nowhere to go there. I do not understand that return there, but Steelers, they're going to need to go 75. Great start to the second half. Freight Train in the comments section. Their line is decimated. Yeah, they come into this game without their first-round pick left guard, Donovan Jackson. He is out. A 5-year vet, Blake Brandel, fills in for him there. And now they got 2 solid tackles. That's really the bread and butter of their offensive line. 2 solid tackles. Now one of those is out. So looks like no Brian O'Neill. I did not see anything on X while I was scrolling through during halftime. Did not see anything there. So I wonder what that was about. During halftime, by the way, or no, this was before the game started, I believe. Jerome Bettis and Big Ben leading the terrible towel twirl. Steelers are the designated home team, and before the kickoff of every game, they always bring out one celebrity or alumni to lead the terrible towel wave. They've had tons of people do it, not just former Steelers, but they've also had guys like Evgeny Malkin and Chris Letang do that before, so that's cool. Ben and Bussy, 2 men who brought 2 championships to the city of Pittsburgh. Awesome there. But back to your comment there, Freight Train. Yeah, their line is decimated right now, and the Steelers, they are testing them. They have brought a ton of pressure, 4-man, 5-man, even up to 7-man rushes so far in this game. I love it. Why people run backwards is beyond me. Run backwards to run forward never works. Yeah, on rare occasions, it works. And I get Calvin Austin has blazing speed, but he caught that ball like no more than 5 feet from the sideline. Just step forward a couple of steps, maybe get a yard, and then step out. You're not going to run all the way back to your goal line, around and out the other side. It just isn't going to work. They weren't rushing 5 until right before half. Yeah. They did rush 4 a lot, and they have been getting pressure with 4, but at this point, if they're the Steelers, I think you just rush 4 at 5 at most, because when they've brought the house, Wentz has been having quick hitters to Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson. Steelers offense back out to work here. Kenneth Gainwell gets a pitch running right, and sort of got clotheslined right there. His whole body contorted backwards there, so hopefully he will be all right. I don't think he got any gain. As a matter of fact, he might have lost the yard there, and he did. 2nd and 11 now. See what the Steelers offense has dialed up here. Can they continue their momentum from the second half? They haven't really done that all that much this year. Can they do it here? From the 25, Rodgers. Handoff to Kenneth Gainwell. Gainwell finds a hole, gets through, and a solid gain there of about 7 yards will make it 3rd and manageable. Fighting through a couple of arm tackles along the way. Kenneth Gainwell, great run right there. I thought today, maybe with Jaylen Warren out, you see a little bit more of the other guys, Caleb Johnson and Trey Sermon, but nope. It's been Gainwell filling in for Jaylen Warren. Almost full stop here. 3rd and 4 now. DK Metcalf lined up on Jeff Okudah here at the in the slot here. Might be looking Metcalf's way again. Rodgers running back to his right. 3 receivers set to the left here. The tight end, Darnell Washington on the right. Check down here to Kenneth Gainwell and read like a book. Eric Wilson, the linebacker, pursues Gainwell before he could look upfield. Tackled at the line of scrimmage, and the Steelers are going to bring on the punt unit back-to-back 3 and outs. 1 for each team to start this second half. I'm not even sure, honestly, if that was a catch by Gainwell. He did have the ball, but then Wilson's tackle taking Gainwell to the ground. The ball was loose there. I think that might have been an incompletion. Regardless, Corliss Waitman booms this one away. This one's going to be caught at the 19, and great job there. Ben Skowronek, who is the gunner extraordinaire, tackles the return man who didn't signal a fair catch, I believe. There is a flag down here, so let's hang on here. Low tackle by Skowronek. What's the flag here? And this is, if anything, this is going to be on the Vikings. That should be a block in the back on number 24, Ward. Yes, and it is an illegal block in the back. So the Vikings moving the wrong direction there. I believe that's who, Jaylen Ward? I think I read his name earlier. Jay Ward. I'll just add off or take off the lens. So Jay Ward, the backup safety, a block in the back on Ben Skowronek, who was going to make that tackle either way. He was a heat-seeking missile there. Don't know why the return man didn't give a fair catch. But great job by Skowronek. His special team expertise shines through once again. And we have our first commercial break of the second half. I'd rather gain 1 than lose 4. Yeah, still talking about that return from Calvin Austin. Very confusing. They weren't rushing 5 until right before the half, says Freight Train. So with that commercial, ladies and gentlemen, going to be right back here in a minute. Don't go anywhere. Steelers defense back out there on the field against this Vikings offense. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Steelers still up 14-6. Vikings down by a score here. They get the ball back, and they are backed up deep into their own territory. This will be just inside the 10-yard line, the first snap of this drive. Excellent atmosphere over in Dublin, Ireland at Croke Park. Majority of it Steelers fans. Wentz back to pass here. Fires. It's a wobbler just out of reach of Jordan Addison. He got his hands on it, but it was incomplete. That would have been a gain of about 15 yards right there. Incomplete. 2nd and 10 now. We did, over the break, get a injury update. This is from Tom Pelissero, NFL Insider. The Vikings' offensive line depth really being tested. They came into this game without Donovan Jackson. They are now down right tackle Brian O'Neill for the rest of the game. He is out with a knee injury. In center, Ryan Kelly, the former Indianapolis Colt, he is being evaluated for a concussion. 2nd and 10 run here for Jordan Mason. Originally looked like he was going to be stopped for a gain of about 4, but continued churning those legs. Instead, it's going to be a gain of around 8 yards there. So some will not die attitude there from Mr. Mason. It's going to be 3rd and 3 exactly is what they mark here. Steelers defense has brought some pressure on Wentz. Sometimes they've sacked him. Sometimes he's gotten out of it and has found big strikes downfield. What will they do here? Steelers look like they're going to blitz 4. They do blitz 4. Throw here just at the sticks. Caught by Adam Thielen. He's their go-to guy in those situations. Go right to the line to gain and just get open. Does that right there. Looks like the Steelers were in zone coverage. Darius Slay passed off his man in the slot, picked up Thielen too late. So a new set of downs here for the Vikings at about the 21.5-yard line. Handoff here to Jordan Mason. Finds a hole up the middle. Excellent running lane created there by the Vikings O-line. It's going to be 2nd down here. And 1 for the Vikings. Gain of 9 on the play. They originally popped up in the corner there, 2nd and 9, but way more of a gain than just a yard there. So 2nd and 1 here. Could the Vikings maybe take a shot? We will find out. 15 of you in here right now. Please get your comments in the comment section. Any thoughts, questions, opinions, or reactions that you have to this game, get those in there. Wentz rolling out to the right, finds a wide open Mason, and he is up past the 40. New set of downs here for the Vikings. Mason in the backfield just ran a straight route out to the right. No one traveled with him. I think they're going to mark him out at around the 43-yard line. New set of downs again for the Vikings, moving the chains. Steelers defense today, again, I think struggling on 3rd down, money downs. Heavy set here for the Vikings. Looks like they got 3 tight ends in the game. Handoff here to the backup running back today, Xavier Scott. He's going to run left and only get forward for a gain of 2 there. The Steelers defense flowing to the left along with him. Get that stop. 2nd and 8 now. Nearing the midway point of the 3rd quarter. 7 minutes and 55 seconds and counting down. Carson Wentz now today, 18 for 23. $155 through the air and 1 interception. He brings his unit to the line again. Empty backfield for Wentz. Back to the pass. Looking left. Fires there. It is off the hands of Jordan Addison and incomplete. Should have been a catch. It went right through his hands. That ball got tipped up into the air a little bit. Steelers were around it, but none close enough to snag it out of the air. I think Peyton Wilson might have delivered a hit there on Addison. I don't think it had any effect on him catching the ball, but he made sure if he did catch that it was probably going to pop loose. 3rd and 8 now for the Steelers. Interesting situation. Steelers, looks like they may rush 5. Now Peyton Wilson comes down. They rush 6. Wentz flushed out to the left. He's going to run. He's going to try to get to the first down, and he does. An underrated part of Carson Wentz's game, going back years when he was an MVP candidate, his legs heavily slept on. Picks up a big first down there for the purple and gold. Looks like he stepped out of bounds just 2 yards past the first down marker. In the Steelers' territory from the 40. Blitz coming. Oh, my goodness. And Wentz. Now he finally goes down. Ball's loose. I think they're going to whistle it down. Oh, my goodness. The Steelers brought 5. Someone from either a linebacker or a corner came flying, and the running back had to give a low block. That was Deshaun Elliott, who came flying in. Jordan Mason took him out down low, and Peyton Wilson followed Elliott and got him then. How did the ball come out? Did Wentz get rid of it, or is that a sack? Did Wentz get rid of the ball, or is that an incompletion? I think that's a sack. 2nd and 11 here. Faking the pitch, Wentz. Pressure all around. Now he's going to go down. That one's not going anywhere. And then a pair of Wisconsin Badgers. TJ Watt with the pressure on Wentz. Trips him up a bit. Keanu Benton finishes him off. The Steelers rush. They are just pinning their ears back and getting after Wentz right now. A mistake there in assignments by the Vikings offense. TJ Watt was one-on-one with the tight end TJ Hawkinson. Hawkinson with a poor chip, and Wentz was looking to check it down to Hawkinson as he got out as a receiver. Watt got his hands up, and that resulted in the interception. TJ Watt with the interception. He can do it all. I can't talk fast enough. TJ Watt with the half sack, and he just picked off the ball on his own. Turnover, Steelers. TJ Watt is a madman. He and Cam Hayward get their hands up. It pops straight up in the air, and Watt picks it off. The Steelers take over. They get another turnover, their 2nd of the game. Carson Wentz is seeing ghosts. In the Steelers offense, they're going to be in prime field position in Vikings territory. Unbelievable. TJ Watt, welcome back, sir. Had a return party last weekend against the Vikings. Today, he's made a couple of plays. Was in on the sack of Wentz a play ago, and on the next one, he and Cam Hayward, I'm not sure who got their hands up on the ball. They both were there, but Watt comes down with it. Some true defensive player of the year stuff right there. Flacco, my dad, all fired up. TJ Watt. What an outstanding play by an extraordinary player. Wentz, indeed, does not know what direction he is going. Every single time that the Vikings, they might just have to eliminate play action altogether, because every time he's turning around, he is seeing just a mob of black and gold coming after him. Pressure all around a solid effort up to this point from everyone on that defensive line. Watt pressure. Keanu Benton has been solid today. Nick Herbig, he continues to make life hell for Christian Darrisaw. Cam Hayward's been solid. Derek Harmon, sure, he had the roughing the passer penalty, but I think he's been all right. the front seven that the Steelers are rushing at Wentz have been doing their job. And now the Steelers offense, who twice on 5 times last week have a chance here to put up points off a turnover. Can they do it? That was 3 straight plays by the D. Yeah, 3 straight plays of just dominance and getting after the quarterback. That was very Hound going after a ham sandwich stuff right there. The Wolves came to hunt in Dublin, and a solid drive for them right there. Now the Steelers, I mentioned prime real estate here of where they're starting this drive. They are at the Vikings 35. Rodgers takes the snap. Low snap there. Gets rid of it to Darnell Washington over the middle. A gain of 8 there. That could have been disastrous. Low snap there by Zach Frazier. Rodgers was able to scoop it off near the ground and then got rid of it quickly to Washington. Looked like Wentz was looking for, I think, Xavier Scott, the running back, on that pass that was intercepted over the middle, and Watt and Hayward getting their hands up. Say, Wentz, go take your Prince Harry looking ass over to the sideline. Handoff here to Kenneth Gainwell running to the left. First down up to the 20 where his forward progress is stopped. First down, Steelers. Darnell Washington looking over to the sideline. Ben Skoranek looks like he's coming off the field. Spencer Anderson, the backup guard, wears a lot of hats on that offensive line. Can play all 5 positions if he wants to. He now enters onto the field. There you go. Get a look at the Steelers pass rush there on the sideline. Benton, Hayward, Watt, and Herbig all sitting together on that bench. Those guys heading that awesome rush that we just saw from them 3 straight plays a couple minutes ago. Rodgers with the pitch to Gainwell running to the right, and a gain of 5 yards. They might give him 6 or 7. Who knows? It's going to be second down and short here for the Steelers. Clock continues to roll. 3 minutes, 35 seconds left here in the third quarter. Solid game from Gainwell thus far. I will say that. I just looked now in the comments here. Gainwell holding his own today. For a guy that not much in his career has been the number 1 guy, he has had a solid day today. He's in the backfield again here. Rodgers under center. Looks like Steelers have 12 personnel. Handoff here to Gainwell. Finds a hole up the left side, and he's tripped up at the 6. Tumbles forward maybe to about the 4 or 3. But first down Steelers, it's going to be first and goal inside the 5. Solid run there from Gainwell. Patience. Waiting for a lane to open up, and he hit it. Spiked that ball in frustration. Thought that he could have scored. Just barely tripped up at the knee by the corner, Byron Murphy. They might give him the rock here. His ball is at the 4. Darnell Washington in motion. Handoff to Gainwell. Makes one man miss into the end zone. Are they going to give it to him? They do. Touchdown, Steelers. And the mistake here by the NFL Network crew, they just put up 6 in favor of the Vikings. That's hilarious. But Kenneth Gainwell, he is on the board. Chopped at the legs by Isaiah Rodgers, keeps his forward progress going, airborne into the end zone. The Steelers extend their lead. Chris Boswell, that chip shot will not get blocked this time. The kick is good. So the Steelers extend their lead back up by 2 scores late in the third quarter. And the Steelers, complimentary football. Mike Tomlin loves preaching it. The defense, they get the turnover. The Steelers, they put up 7 on the board after it. Great drive for both squads. Momentum on their side, up 21-6 in Dublin, Ireland. To the comment section, we go again. Freight Train here with a contribution. Thank you very much, Freight Train. Thanks again for the stream. Anytime. I enjoy coming here, reacting live with you fine folks. We are in for a hell of a game right now. A game that, I'm going to be honest, we came into it with not much optimism. Very pessimistic look on this game with how the Steelers have been performing so far this season. The opponent they're going up against with the coaching staff they have, but they have completely flipped 180 the feeling on this game. The defense continuing to hunt the quarterback and hunt for turnovers. The offense maybe starting to get the run game going a little bit there with Kenneth Gainwell. They punch it in for a touchdown there. Solid day from Gainwell again that I want to mention. Flacco here says, always liked Gainwell. He gets his looks. Yeah, like I was going to say, for a guy that has not been the guy in his NFL career, he is having a solid game. Was stuck behind Saquon Barkley in Philly. Comes here, Jaylen Warren, the clear number one guy. And they drafted a running back in the third round, Caleb Johnson, over him. Didn't need to do much fending off to take the clear RB2 spot from Johnson. And with the injury to Jaylen Warren, the surprise inactive today, Gainwell has stepped up in a big way when he has been greatly needed. So, hell of a job here from Kenneth Gainwell. Everyone in the comments fired up for that touchdown. Aaron Rodgers seems like an actual leader. Yeah, he does. In all facets of the term leadership. He will give you your praise. He will also be a hard ass on you when you deserve it and you do something wrong. Leadership that we have not seen here in quite some time. A guy who expects hard work and all the little details to be perfected. That's how he's gone about his entire career. That is what has built him a Hall of Fame career. And he is bringing it here to the Steelers. And there they show the crowd in Dublin, Ireland. A sea of gold, terrible towels there. Kickoff from Chris Boswell. Fielded at the 8. This is brought back by Miles Price. And oh no, up past the 40, up past the 50. Chris Boswell finally is the one to push him out of bounds. Flag down on the play here. So let's see if this comes back. A rare special teams broken kickoff coverage by the Steelers. And hang on, it's going to come back. We got a holding on the receiving team. So that return going to come back a little bit. Solid penalty call there by the Steelers. I knew there had to be a reason why that was broken so big. And yeah, number 37, Thomas, just absolutely bear hugging Brandon Eccles. And he didn't even stop. I mean, I'm sure the flag hit the ground and he was still holding him. And the referee right there looking right at it. So an easy call. Instead of being up into Steelers territory, up past the 50, the Vikings are all the way back inside their own 20-yard line where the foul was. Steelers rushing 5. Wentz back to pass. He is going to take a deep shot way down the field, and it is incomplete. Little bit overshot there for Justin Jefferson, but still, Darius Slay draped all over him, and there was a safety coming over to help anyways. Mistiming there by Jefferson reading that ball. Darius Slay, I think he's been lined up on Justin Jefferson more than we realize today. Slay, in the past, he's had some success, and oh no. Jalen Ramsey, he just went over on the sideline, slammed down his helmet, and is sitting on the bench. Please, no. Handoff here to Jordan Mason, running left, wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. A gain of maybe a yard for Mason. Patrick Queen gets the tackle. Please, don't take out Jalen Ramsey. They're showing his previous play here. A double move by Jordan Addison, and off of that double move, Ramsey gingerly gripping at that hamstring. Damn it. Please be all right. 3rd and 9 here for the Vikings. From the 19, Wentz back to pass. Pressure all around, and he is going down again and again. A Wisconsin product on this defensive line. Keanu Benton with the sack. P.J. Watt there as well came in to make sure Wentz was going down. A rush of 5 there, of 6 actually, by the Steelers. And Wentz again gets sacked. Keanu Benton, a hell of a game, continues for him. And another punt upcoming here for the Vikings. The punter right stands in between the 2 E's of the Steelers in the end zone. This punt going to be fielded here at the 42 by Austin, running to the left. Calvin Austin's got room up past the 50 and finally goes down just past the 50. Solid return there from number 19. 35 seconds left in the third quarter. The Steelers defense, another 3 and out for them. The offense going to go back out on the field here trying to put up more points here, but it's hard not to, if you're a Steeler fan, put your focus on Jalen Ramsey grasping at his hamstring there on the second play of that last series. And knew holding that hamstring on that recovery was going to set him back. I think that one was a joke because he then went into a gritty dance. I think that was him, just joking in celebration. But if it was or it wasn't, talk about foreshadowing the future. Ramsey gripping at his hamstring there, and those have been an issue for the Steelers. The soft tissue injuries, they were a problem last year. They're a problem this year. Hell, we still haven't seen Joey Porter Jr. since week 1 with a hamstring injury. And if the Steelers' precedent of these injuries continues with Jalen Ramsey, we might be looking at a couple weeks at least before he gets back out there on the field. We just hope that it's not too serious. He was able to get off the field on his own power. There was no stoppage for an injury, so that might be positive news. I don't know. At least speaks volumes to Ramsey's toughness, but let's hope that he is all right. Freight train, again, we're legit today. Makes me wonder week to week what is going on. One week we look like dog shit, then we look amazing the next. Yeah, this is one of those weeks where we look amazing, and I'm okay with it. This team, their early bye week coming up next weekend. They need it to figure out some things, but hey, they can still improve upon those things before we reach the bye week, and then come back having perfected it. So hopefully that is the case for the Steelers. They do look damn good today, showing the history of Croke Park over here as the game comes back. Flacco again. I think it's the turf, man. Yeah, the turf really been an issue today. Not so much in causing injuries, but players have lost their footing a ton. And yeah, the turf, I don't think anything, with the field had to do with that injury for Ramsey there, but hopefully he's all right. Steelers, they're going to take over here. Ball is going to be just shy of the Minnesota 45. So another short field for the Steelers to work on right here. This is going to be 1st and 10 here. Rodgers under center. Pitch here to Caleb Johnson. And Johnson making a nice little cut and a gain of 8 yards. Okay. Didn't realize that Caleb Johnson was in there, but hey, solid gain. And also, hey, shout out to my dad. Thank you for the contributions. Appreciate. Love you. They had Spencer Anderson out as a swing tackle there. And Johnson, nice vision. Way to, stutter step, cut juke there and gets forward for more yardage. I guess now you're up 2 scores, and maybe you can afford to get some guys who are fresh on the sideline a look or two. And before we have another snap here, it's going to be the end of the third quarter. So that is going to do it for 3 quarters of this game. Steelers up 21-6, and they have the ball again, looking to maybe punch this into the end zone for another score. If that's the case, then That might be all she wrote for today's game. Going to take a real quick break. We will be back here in a couple of moments. Going to get a quick drink before we finish this one out in the fourth quarter coming up next. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Quite honestly, a game that we were not expecting coming into this, but damn, what a happy surprise. The Steelers up 21-6 on the Minnesota Vikings, and they are in Vikings territory looking to extend this lead to 3 scores. Was not expecting this much of dominance by the Steelers coming in, but hey, we are very happy to see it. To the comments section, real quick comment from my dad. Mom and I are very proud of you. Keep chasing your dreams. Thank you, Mom and Dad. Love you guys very, very much. Thank you for having the faith in me. Steelers about to line up here to run this play. Got a couple of comments from Freight Train and Flacco here. We'll get to in a minute. Steelers, 12 personnel here, but one of those eligible receivers is Spencer Anderson. Quick throw to the outside here. DK Metcalf, he will get forward on 2nd and 1, easy gain of a first down. Freight Train again here. Vikings have no answer for us on either side of the ball, and that was something that I was not anticipating coming into this game today. You know, clearly I thought the Steelers on both sides of the ball were going to be out-schemed. Kevin O'Connell, bright offensive mind. Brian Flores having one of, I think, is one of the best DCs in the NFL, but Aaron Rodgers processing everything well so far, and the Steelers defense pinning their ears back, making life hell for Carson Wentz. Low snap again from Zach Frazier. Quick throw out here to Calvin Austin. No, that is Kenneth Gainwell, and now, no, that is Calvin Austin, and now he's down as well. Austin tried to turn forward, was tripped up at the legs, and went down hard. He's now down at a knee. Broderick Jones and Ben Skoranek checking in on him, and this is not a good sign either. Medical staff checking in on Calvin Austin. Rodgers looking left, hit Austin. Looks like he, my guess is that he landed on something awkwardly. The way he went down. Hopefully he's all right. They have not cut the commercial, and they have not shown a replay of it. And now we got some chippiness here, ladies and gentlemen. They're keeping in a camera here on the Steelers huddle. And DK Metcalf, he is chirping up a storm with the Vikings defense right now. He is letting them hear it. Broderick Jones, he is there like, yeah. This has been absolute warfare between the Steelers and the Vikings. And the Steelers, they right now are just trying to impose their will on the Vikings, and they are letting them know about it. Metcalf is fired up. This has been quite honestly, this has been a chippy game, more than I anticipated here today, and I'm here for it. They now finally went to commercial break. They did not show the replay of Calvin Austin or show Calvin Austin at all within the last 30 seconds before they went to break. So hopefully it's not too serious for Austin. Thoughts with him as he gets attention for that injury. Real quick, putting in here, just announced the attendance, 74,512 people at this game. Sounds like much more. And I bet you at least 50,000 of those are waving one of these terrible towels. Now I got this one today, special occasion. We break out the Shamrock terrible towel, but hell of a crowd on hand there for the Steelers. To the comments here, Flacco, so happy. Except I have Jefferson on my fantasy team. I'd rather my Steelers win. At least you're not me. I have Jefferson starting on at least one of my fantasy teams as well, but I know I have at least two fantasy teams where I did not get the chance to before I came on here live this morning with y'all. I'm starting Jaylen Warren on at least two teams, and he's not even playing. I know that for a fact, so I'm just going to take the L there. Steelers too happy right now. Yeah, they are just letting the Vikings have it right now. And this all goes back, Metcalf, he's had this edge all day. That 80-yard touchdown reception he had, he just ran over a guy. This has been brutality. Some well-needed sight for sore eye, taking the fight to the opponent brutality from the Steelers. It's what we've been waiting for. And looks like we're finally getting it today. Back from commercial break now. Not sure how they got Calvin Austin off the field. He will at least need to miss this play. In his place, substitute one small receiver with another, Scotty Miller, out there now on this 2nd and 2 play. Rodgers getting in the play call. Steelers, 78 rushing yards today. It's better than their season average of 63 per game thus far. Calvin Austin, now they're showing him helmet being held by the trainer. He is off to the locker room. So if I had to guess, 13:43 left in the game, he is probably done. Steelers take the snap. Vikings rush 6. Lowering his head and getting forward and then some up past the 20 is Caleb Johnson. And that was the middle of the offensive line that just blew the Vikings off the line of scrimmage right there. Sayamalu, Frazier, and McCormick just dominated that rep against the Vikings O-line, against the Vikings D-line. And Caleb Johnson, the tall 6'2", 210 running back, was giving him a little bit of a boost as well. 1st and 10, Johnson again is the back. Darnell Washington in motion. Handoff again to Caleb Johnson. One guy tried to trip him up in the backfield. Johnson misses him, but he doesn't get any much further past that. It's going to be a gain of about 1 here for the rookie out of Iowa, who I still have high hopes for. I know lots of people have been down on him, for the start of his season. But hey, when you're up by multiple scores in a game like this, let's get the kid some action here, try to build his confidence. Would like to see him get into the end zone for 6 here. How about you? 2nd and 9 here for the Steelers. Rodgers. Johnson to his left. DK Metcalf and Scotty Miller. My God, what a height discrepant comparison there. Hand off to Johnson. Running to the right. Makes one man miss. Lowers his shoulder, and it's going to be a gain of about 3 yards there for the rookie. It's going to be now 3rd and 6, maybe 3rd and 5 here. Rodgers waiting for the play call to come in here. Kenneth Gainwell back out on the field now. That was absolutely hilarious seeing Metcalf and Scotty Miller lined up together there. Miller can ask Metcalf to give him a piggyback ride. Aaron Rodgers today, outstanding. 16 for 18. passing the ball. And now he takes a timeout. The ball was snapped as he took that timeout, and it went away past him. He's laughing. I guess he wanted a picture of the Vikings defense there on third down. Yeah, that's hilarious. He's walking away, taking a timeout. Dak Frazier still snaps the ball anyways. So it will remain 3rd and 6 for the Steelers here in a second. To the comments again, Flacco here. Scotty over Roman. Yeah, a little shocked here. As much as we are, kind of down right now on Caleb Johnson, if we're down on Johnson, then Roman Wilson, he is like 50 feet below sea level because he has been MIA for most of the year. Yeah, that's bad. Maybe this is what KJ needed, is a chance to sign. Without Jalen Warren today, I thought there might be a chance he gets a couple of carries. But now that you're up, especially if you punch a touchdown in here, if you go up by 3 scores here, and say your defense gets another stop, you're up by 3 scores. I'm just running the ball with Caleb Johnson over and over again to get that kid some reps and to build his confidence a little bit. Kenneth Gainwell back out there again to Rodgers left. This time Rodgers takes the snap. He's going to throw, and it is going to be incomplete, looking for Scotty Miller on an out route. Not quite sure if Miller had a chance at catching that ball, but nonetheless, Steelers are going to bring out the field goal unit here, and let's see if they can officially make this a 3-score game. Showing Greg Olson and Joe Davis in the commentary booth right there. Chris Boswell puts this one up and through. No blocking of the field goal this time. So the Steelers extend their lead. They are now up 24-6 with 11:18 remaining. Crazy way this game has gone thus far. One more comment here before we go to another short break. Flacco loved Caleb Johnson coming in. Needs to catch up with the game speed. Way different than college. I think that's what his problem's been. He hasn't slowed down the game yet. He's been struggling to have that vision and explosion that he had in college. So maybe this is what he needed to learn the ropes a little bit, and then he can take off. I'm hoping that that's the case. Commercial break in Ireland. Crazy still that I did not take any sort of break in the first half. We just went straight through it like that. So real quick, going to take another break. We'll be back here in about 30-ish seconds with the Steelers defense back out there looking to continue their haunting of Carson Wentz. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Boswell, his kick is away and brought out to about the 30-yard line by Ty Felton, and I was unable to hear the TV. I want to keep it low so I don't get any trouble with the, NFL here, but it sounded like we had a renegade. It did make the trip over to Ireland. And, hey, you want to pretty much put this game on ice if you're the defense? Get a big stop right here. Up 3 scores. Positive news, ladies and gentlemen. As a matter of fact, aside from the scoreboard, the greatest news of the day here, at least for this first snap of the Steelers' defensive drive, Jalen Ramsey out there on the field at slot corner. So that's a very good sight for us, sore eyes right there. First play of the drive for the Vikings there, a quick hitter out route for 6 yards by Carson Wentz. Not sure who that was to. Jordan Mason, the running back in the backfield. Steelers, they rush 5 here. Handoff is to Mason. Finds a hole and gets the first down up to the 41-yard line. 10:35 in remaining here. The Vikings going to need to move pretty quickly here for their offense. Fortunately for them, Steelers' defense against hurry-up offenses this season, not the best. So let's see if they can improve upon that right there. Body's going down there near the line of scrimmage. Pass over the middle, complete to TJ Hawkinson, and oh no, we got a couple of Steelers down. Oh no, whistles blow here. We got a couple of Steelers down. Looks like Cam Hayward was one of the guys down. He is up and now walking towards the sideline. Not sure if it was Patrick Queen or Keanu Benton, who is the other guy shaken up. 2 Steelers shaken up on the play. Hayward now picking grass out of his helmet. He's going to come over. He's going to come over to the sideline. He's going to have to sit out for at least a snap here, but appears to be all right. Thank goodness there. Showing the Vikings offensive line, which they are severely banged up today, as we mentioned earlier. No Donovan Jackson coming in, and today they've lost Ryan Kelly and Brian O'Neill, so they're without their starting left guard, center, and right tackle right now. 2nd and 4 here from the Steelers' 46. Wentz over the middle, caught wide open, finding a soft spot in the zone coverage. Justin Jefferson tackled down into Steelers territory at the 35-yard line. So it's going to be 1st and 10 now for the Vikings, moving quickly now. Like I said, this could play into their hands here, an advantage for them. From the 35 here, TJ Watt coming after Wentz. Wentz just throws it at the ground. You could tell that the Steelers were going to bring pressure. They did. Nick Herbig, TJ Watt, and Deshaun Elliott among the many blitzers on that play, immediately in the face of Carson Wentz. All he had to do was throw it at the feet of his nearest receiver. And he may not be showing it too much here, but I bet Wentz, he is in a world of pain right now. Real quick here. Did not update this. Okay, it is 24 now. There you go. 2nd and 10 now for the Vikings. Wentz back to pass again. Steelers rushing 4, throwing to the right. Caught by TJ Hawkinson. Spins off of a tackle, and he's still going. Finally down. If Peyton Wilson makes the first tackle there, it's a gain of about 7. Instead, Hawkinson getting another 5 yards after contact. A new set of downs for Minnesota. Spinning off the tackle of Peyton Wilson, and then Darius Slay struggled to bring him down. Wentz to pass again, looking left, now fires over the middle, caught by Hawkinson, and he is lit up by Patrick Queen. Wilson was holding him still, and Queen came in and laid the boom. Still, though, a gain of 6. The Vikings now, surprising that it took them this long. They might be starting to realize here that the Steelers' middle of the field defense has been pretty bad this year, and now they're starting to exploit it. 2nd and 4 here. They're showing J.J. McCarthy on the sideline there, not in uniform today. He is inactive, still on the rebound from a high ankle sprain. Wentz here throwing for his tight end, Josh Oliver. Faked the handoff The skirt was rolling out to the left, and a member of the Steelers defense got a hand on it before the ball got to Oliver. Incomplete. 3rd and 4 now. Still showing J.J. McCarthy. Must be talking about him a bunch. If I'm the Vikings, now you got a hell of a dilemma. Assuming that this game finishes up with the Steelers winning. Carson Wentz. Some very questionable football today. If McCarthy is good to go, do you go back to your first-round pick who has struggled so far this year, or do you stick with the veteran for one more week over in London next weekend? Wentz taking the snap, back to pass, pressure all around. Now he steps up, pump fakes, fires in the back of the end zone. Is he in? He is. Xavier Scott, the backup running back. Wentz extending the play, and Scott finds himself wide open in the back of the end zone. Jalen Ramsey trails him, and Scott toe tapping there on that back line. Yep, he's got both of them in barely for the touchdown. So the Vikings, they do get a touchdown in this ball game. Wentz extending the play, finds his man, and a pulse on the heart monitor for this Vikings team here with, I think, maybe around 8 minutes left to go. 7:50 exactly here left to go in this ball game. Vikings, unsurprisingly, going to go for 2 here. Wentz motions Jordan Mason into the backfield. Now Justin Jefferson in motion. Taking the snap as Wentz looking left. Fires, and it is caught again in the back of the end zone. This time on the left. It is Jalen Naylor. Addison and Jefferson taking the attention of most of the Steelers defenders there. Naylor finds himself open enough. And the Vikings, they do make it 14 on the board for them. So a 10-point game now with 7:50 left to go. The Steelers, their first touchdown allowed today. I guess that's pretty good for having a first half like they did. Now, however, can the Steelers offense melt away this clock? Indeed, it was a Renegade that played earlier. First catch for Jefferson in the second half a moment ago. Flacco Boo that they gave up that touchdown. The hurry-up offense getting to the Steelers again there. It is now 24-14. Please, offense, melt this clock away some. I do not want the Vikings to touch the ball before the 4-minute mark here left of this game. Though, as I say that, watch the Steelers go out and have a 3-and-out right now. So, let's keep our fingers crossed that they can keep their foot on the gas pedal here. Real quick, going to take a quick break. We'll be back here. This will probably be the last break we'll go with. This will probably be the last break of the stream tonight. This morning, I should say. I don't know why the hell I said tonight. I guess force a habit from the weekday live streams. But this will probably be the final stream for today, the final action break, and we will be back to wrap this last 7.5 minutes up in a moment. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 7:50 left in Dublin, Ireland. Kickoff here fielded by Kenneth Gainwell, brought out to about the 34-yard line before he goes down. The Vikings just putting up their first touchdown of the ball game plus the extra point. Showing a replay here of the two-point conversion. Really, Wentz had two options. He could have gone to Jordan Addison or Jalen Naylor there. So poor coverage there by the Steelers, but I think an even better play design by the Vikings. Anyways, Vikings just scoring a touchdown plus the two-point conversion a moment ago. It's now a 10-point ball game. Kenneth Gainwell, who just returned, is going to get the handoff here up past the 45, down at around the 50. A first down run on first down. Kenny G getting things done today. He does it all. Special teams, running game, passing game. An all-around fantastic showing today for number 14 in black and gold. Clock ticking here. 7:12 and still going down here. As much time the Steelers can waste on this offensive drive, the better. Steelers lined up here with, I think, 12 personnel here, including Spencer Anderson, the swing tackle. Rodgers finding Kenneth Gainwell here. Tight coverage. But Kenny G gets the reception. Gets a solid gain of 6 yards right there. It's going to be 2nd and 4 now. The Vikings brought pressure, and Rodgers finding a hole there to get it to Kenneth Gainwell, and he did. 6.5 minutes now left. We're going to be watching that clock as it slowly melts away. When you're up, it always goes so slow. Rodgers gets a man in motion. 17 for 20. 192 yards through the air today. Ben Skoranek motions. Hand off to Kenneth Gainwell again. Stuttering for a minute and now pushing forward. And are they going to give him the first down? I think they will. Gainwell was stopped, I think, just shy by a couple inches of the first down marker, but then he fell forward to gain that extra little bit. Isaac Seumalo and Ben Skoranek pulling as blockers on that play. Excellent execution by them. They did not give Gainwell the first down. Instead, it's a 3rd and 1 here. And did they quarterback sneak it here? They did. And now we're going to have some rough stuff here. Broderick Jones is going to kill someone. And now a flag flies there. You had about 3 Vikings. And now DK Metcalf is getting into it with, I think that's Jalen Redmond, the nose tackle. The Steelers did a quarterback sneak there. And as there was a big pile of bodies, you had about 2 or 3 Vikings just mugging Ben Skoranek, and Broderick Jones, as soon as he sees someone touching his guy, he just sees red. He goes and knocks over, I think, Jonathan Grenard, who did his Academy Award-winning diving performance. And then on the other side of the field, Metcalf and Redmond getting into it. As a matter of fact, I should have known better. It wasn't Aaron Rodgers who did the sneaking. Kenneth Gainwell was under center. He took the snap, and Rodgers just stood back there, motionless during that play, and pointed for the first down. He's a comedian today, Aaron Rodgers is. Flag did fly after the play, though, if you were wondering. So there was a personal foul there, probably on Broderick Jones, if I had to guess. Showing Scotty Miller there. And, Metcalf was slapped in the face mask by Dallas Turner. So this game is just getting chippier and chippier, boys. Turner looking out wide here. I'm telling you what, I'm gonna take my chances here and say that Broderick Jones and or DK Metcalf are going to end up coming to blows with someone before the end of this game here. Hand off to Kenneth Gainwell again. He gets loose up past the 20, up to the 10. Kenny G. He is insane today. First and goal, Steelers from just inside the 10. I think all these scuffles are the Minnesota Vikings finding out that whatever they throw at the Steelers offense, it is just not working today. Kenneth Gainwell, another first down run on first down. He's been outstanding today. Real quick, let me get his stats. What's Kenny G looking like here? I'm sure he's going to get the rock here again. This will be Gainwell's 15th carry of the ball game. Right here, he gets it. And this time, he's actually going to lose yardage, wrapped up by Jonathan Allen, the former Washington Commander. It's going to be a loss of 1 on the play. With that run, it's now 15 carries on the day for Gainwell, 88 yards, and 2 rushing touchdowns. Great stuff from number 14, who has been filling in, going above and beyond today, filling in for the injured Jaylen Warren. It's going to be second and goal now here for the Steelers. Some other stats here for the Steelers. Rodgers still 17 for 20, 192 passing yards, 1 touchdown. DK Metcalf, 5 receptions for 126 yards here today. The next best receiver, Gainwell, 5 catches as well, but for only 27 yards. So 8, 14, and 4. The biggest contributors to the Steelers offensively here today. As for the Vikings, you would have told me the Steelers would be up 24-14, and Justin Jefferson has 9 receptions for over 115 yards. I would have called you crazy. Taking the handoff here. Rodgers got to float one, and it's incomplete. Looking for Ben Skowronek. Rodgers shouting a couple of profanities right there. Faked the handoff to Caleb Johnson and then was looking for Ben Skowronek. The pass was just out of reach. Rodgers had to float it over a defender. I think Rodgers more upset with himself than anything there. Should have put a better ball there. And now, third and goal from the 11. Darnell Washington lined up as a wide receiver. No surprise, the Vikings are double covering him. They throw underneath here to Kenneth Gainwell, and he's going to be about 3 yards short of the touchdown. Fourth and goal, Rodgers is waving the field goal unit off. He wants to go for it here. Looks like Mike Tomlin and Danny Smith were about ready to send the unit out there. And hang on here. Rodgers wants to go for it, and he's not going to get what he wants. He wants to go for this badly. He's still saying no. The offense still saying, like stay off the field. We want to go for this. Broderick Jones coming off the field now, and now they're going to send him back. Rodgers, Mason McCormick, Broderick Jones, they were looking over at the sideline going, hey, no, let's go for it. They sent out Boswell, and now they call him right back. Steelers took a timeout so that the offense can, have a full play clock here to go out and get their play set up. Rodgers now 18 for 22, 200 yards passing, and they're going to go for it. Fourth and goal. This is from the 3.5-yard line. Darnell Washington in motion. Rodgers. Handoff to Kenneth Gainwell, and he is going to be near the goal line. He's going to be stopped short. Gainwell with a run to the left. Looks like he was originally stopped at the line of scrimmage, and then he got forward near for a couple more yards. So it's going to be 1st and 10, a turnover on downs to the Vikings. But hey, I like going for it there. I like going for it there because regardless of whether you kick the field goal or not, it's still going to be a 2-possession game for the Vikings. And, instead of, kicking a field goal and having the kickoff to them and risking another good return, have them pinned back on their 1 yard line. Just about the entire offensive line is in the end zone right now. Hand off to Jordan Mason. He's going to get forward for a gain of 5 yards up to the 6. Regardless, the Steelers were going to be up by 2 scores there. So with that failed 4th down conversion, at the very least, they have the Vikings pinned back deep in their own territory, and they're going to need to go the length of the field with 3 minutes and 43 seconds left and still counting down. Wentz, empty backfield, drops back to pass, firing over the middle, and it is caught by Justin Jefferson in double coverage, and a Steeler is down. This is away from the play. Who is down here? Maybe we see it. Juan Thornhill and Darius Slay come up to make the tackle on Justin Jefferson. He just barely held on to that ball, did not have full control of it until he went to the ground. I think we got a stoppage here. It is Brandon Eccles who's down on the field. I thought I saw a Steeler down. Showing the replay here, he was lined up with the slot receiver, Jalen Naylor, and he just went down running with him. So maybe a cramp here. Hopefully not any sort of soft tissue injury. Down there getting a swig of water as trainers look at his left leg, I believe. So maybe just a cramp for him. Let's hope that is just the case. To the comments section, we go here. Rodgers again on that previous drive, just standing there and pointing first down. Just what a boss move right there. Let's go, KG. Kenneth Gainwell. He is having himself a game. 88 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. 5 for 27 through the air. Kenny Gainwell. Been unbelievable today. Aaron Rodgers is wild. 1 yard line stop. I'm all right going for it. You're at the 3. You're going to be up 2 scores anyways. Just go for it. If you put the dagger in him, you put the dagger in him. If not, worst case, they have to go the length of the field, which is what they're trying to do here. 3 minutes, 29 seconds left in the ball game here. Hate that Brandon Eccles went down there. Even what makes that injury doubly worse is that it stopped the clock for the Vikings. A free stoppage there. Vikings, by the way, they have just 1 timeout left. The Steelers 2. Wentz back to pass. He's going to fire down the sideline and wide open. Jordan Addison, and he is gone. Tripped up by Peyton Wilson inside the 5. A broken as broken can be coverage by the Steelers. Addison wide open down the sideline. Deshaun Elliott and Darius Slay both went to cover the running back in the flat. Nobody picked up Addison, not even, there was no safety help, and he was off to the races. Peyton Wilson, thankfully, was able to track him down. Linebacker chasing after a wide receiver there. Vikings run it on 1st and goal from the 3. It's going to be tackled for a loss there by Patrick Queen. Handoff was to Jordan Mason. 2nd and goal now. 2 minutes, 23 seconds left. Wentz looking to pass, looking left, fires, and it is off the hands of Jalen Naylor. Incomplete. Not sure if James Pierre got a piece of that or not. They're showing the replay again of Peyton Wilson tracking down Jordan Addison, and then great tackling by Patrick Queen. And I'll tell you what, that pass was a little bit behind Jalen Naylor running an out. But James Pierre, who's been filling in for guys throughout the day, at times we've seen all 3 of the top corners for the Steelers go out with injury. He fills in that time perfectly. Wentz here looking to pass again, broken up again. This time it is Juan Thornhill looking for a quick hitter to Naylor again. And Juan Thornhill jumps it and gets the incompletion. Batting that pass down. Almost got both hands on it for the pick. That would have been nice. Also, to Sean Elliott, he was right there too. There was a chance that if that ball got past Thornhill, maybe Elliott could have broken it up. 4th and goal. The Vikings are going for it from the 2.5. Snap. Faking the handoff. Rolling to the right. Wentz looking to the end zone. Fires short, and it's caught for the touchdown. Jalen Naylor. 3rd time's a charm to number 1 for the Vikings. And they have brought this game back within a score. And most importantly of all, they did it all before the 2-minute warning, 2:08 on the clock. So the Steelers, they're going to get the ball on offense here, but the Vikings, with that 2-minute warning, plus a timeout, they're going to have 2 times where the clock stops for them. An extra point from Will Reichert. It is up and good. So now it is all of a sudden, hold on to your butts time. New score, 24-20. Steelers still up. The offense, they need to put together another time-consuming drive right here. Bold decision, too, by the Vikings going for it on 4th and goal. They don't convert that. The game is probably over. So, touchdown there. I don't mean to put 21. It's 20. It's actually 21. My fault. 3-point game now for them. And in the Steelers offense, they've been pretty decent moving the ball down the field consistently today. They're going to need to do it one more time here. To the comments section we go here. Tons of comments. Flacco, Jonathan Harvey, welcome back. Jonathan, damn, should have taken the 3. Tomlin trusting his stupid zone crap. I mean, I was all right with not taking the 3. It's going to be a 2-score game regardless. I mean, sure, the Vikings now, if they do get the ball back, they need to get in the field goal range to tie it instead of scoring a touchdown. But I'll admit, I like the optics of making them go the length of the field. They just unfortunately did. Looks like we're going to get an onside kick try here for the Vikings. We have an onside kick coming here. Steelers hands team all around. Got to go 10 yards. Kick here is going to be caught by Peyton Wilson here, and we had a timeout. The Steelers just called a timeout. That couldn't have been any easier of a, fielding by by Roman Wilson. I have no idea why the Steelers called a timeout there on the onside kick. A stupid way. Tad Stress says, Jonathan, come on, dang it, geez. This is worrisome. Jonathan Harvey all over Tomlin. Tomlin is dumb. Knows the strategy sucks. Oh, I got them pinned down. Tomlin listening to Aaron should have kicked 3. It's the hurry up offenses that kill us. Yeah, all of that is true. It wasn't just Rodgers saying to go for it. It was the entire offensive line. So, anyways, here is the onside kick again. Steelers hand team is out there. Looks like Reichert is going to kick it to the left. Scotty Miller, Darnell Washington, Roman Wilson, and Connor Hayward are there to receive this. Reichert kicks it, goes beyond 10 yards. Roman Wilson falls on it, gets absolutely landed on by number 37, Thomas. So, hey, Roman Wilson, positive contribution. Take him off the milk carton. We've seen him, ladies and gentlemen. He fields that onside kick. Roman Wilson is alive and well. DK Metcalf also on that side of the field was lined up behind Roman Wilson in case that ball skipped beyond him. Solid play there. Ooh. Tell you what, Wilson, he took a shot there. Just fell on that ball pretty easily. And then the Thomas, number 37 for the Vikings, he came in there and he landed on Wilson. Also, gave a little bit of a punch to the chin there. Handoff here to Kenneth Gainwell. Gain of about 5 here. Steelers, you best bet, unless they have a 100% pass play in their arsenal, they're going to try to run the ball 3 times here to get the first down. Good start there. 2nd and 5 coming up here. 2-minute warning has hit. So there is one of the Vikings stoppages of play right there. To the comment we go here. Jonathan Harvey again, 24-14 and in control with the game winding down, and this happens. Stress. Why clap for onside kick recovery? Roman Wilson, we haven't seen him. Even with Calvin Austin going out, which I haven't seen anything on Roman's or Calvin Austin's condition. Does anybody have a Calvin Austin just loaded into an ambulance in the tunnel with his shoulder in a sling? Oh no. All right, well, I guess this also makes sense. Croke Park does not have an X-ray machine, says Steelers insider Nick Farabaugh. So hopefully it's just a precautionary thing for Calvin Austin and that he'll be all right. But talking about Calvin Austin here, Roman Wilson did not come out in his place. Instead, it was Scotty Miller. So we're all wondering, like, where the hell is Roman Wilson at? We at least know that he is getting some sort of trust on a, onside kick. Fell on it. So, hey, got his hands on the football today. That's like Kenny Pickett's knee for the Eagles. What was that? We need a wide receiver for sure, says Flacco. Jonathan Harvey. They call a run play on 4th down, handing off deep in the backfield. That's the only part that I didn't understand or didn't agree with going for it, is the running the football. You were a solid 2.5 yards, 3 yards out. Just do like a rollout or put Darnell Washington out wide, have him go one-on-one for it. Like do that. So I didn't understand the play call there. I agree with you at least on that point there, Jonathan. Showing commercials there, a Cheerios commercial with Justin Jefferson and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Steelers live on the edge, says Jonathan. It wouldn't be a Steelers game without, a couple heart palpitations. And they are playing Sweet Caroline in Dublin, Ireland. Sweet Caroline. Very fun atmosphere there in Dublin, Ireland. Back from commercial here. Steelers 2nd and 6. Rodgers under center. Looks like we got 12 personnel. Washington and Hayward off to the right. Handoff to Kenneth Gainwell. Gainwell, he's going to have to go a long ways here. Somehow found ways to get positive yardage there. Gainwell ran to the right. Jonathan Grenard was waiting for him in the backfield. Gainwell was able to fight him off with a stiff arm, run around a couple of other Vikings players, and what looked like it was going to be a loss of 2 or 3 on the play instead is a gain of 5. It's 3rd and 1 for the Steelers. See here. Connor Hayward fights off Eric Wilson, Then Isaiah Rodgers tries to tackle him, and then Ivan Pace Jr. finally gets Gainwell down. Gainwell, outstanding. He has had one hell of a game. One hell of a game. 3rd and 1 here. They can close it out with a first down here. Minnesota called its final timeout. 1:52 on the clock. Spencer Anderson, the swing tackle out there, lined up beside Broderick Jones. Showing like they're going to run for it. And now we have a timeout. It's going to be the 3rd and final timeout here for the Steelers. Third and final timeout for the Steelers. Both teams are out with 1:52 left in this game. Showing a replay, I guess, of Jordan Addison's big catch. All right, now we're back. Come on. 3rd and 1. Gainwell. He is going to be met at the line of scrimmage and just short. Short by about a foot. And a decision here for the Steelers to make. The clock still rolling. 4th and 1. Clock at 1 minute, 20 seconds. 10 seconds left on the clock. Steelers, they're going to line up to go for it. Rodgers under center here. This is bold from the 39. Rodgers. Instead, he's going to wind down the play clock, and it's going to be a delay of game. Delay of game here. And I guess instead the Steelers decided to send out Rodgers there on 4th and 1. It's actually 4th and about a foot. Maybe try to draw him off sides with a hard count. Did not work. And now the punt unit's going to come on. So officially here with the delay of game penalty, Corliss Waitman's going to stand at his own 40 here. Going to try to pin them back deep. The Vikings, with no timeouts, are going to have a minute and 8 seconds left on the clock. Waitman, punt is away. This is going to hit in the end zone. Now, if he was trying to pin them back, that punt was all the way out past the back of the end zone. So very, very bad punt there. Jonathan Harvey, why take the last time out? What if Minnie gets the ball back? I don't know why they took the timeout there on the 3rd and 1. Now a nail biter, says Flacco. WTF, man. Indeed. So now the Vikings, who are at one point down 3 scores in this game, they have a minute, 2 seconds here and no timeouts. And they have to go 80 yards. Wentz to pass. With time, throws. It is going to be intercepted! Intercepted! Picked off, that's the ball game! It's James Pierre! Let's go! Carson Wentz looking for Jalen Naylor heading out of bounds, and Pierre, did he get? Oh no! I don't think he got 2 feet in. Oh my goodness, it's going to be close. Did he have both feet right there? 1, 2. That's going to be an interception. That's going to be an interception. They're probably going to look at it. He's got both feet in. The Steelers, the defense makes the final stand again. Picked off. The sideline of the Steelers erupts. And it is the most improbable of heroes. James Pierre started the year on the practice squad, was signed to the active roster in week 2. And today, he has been needing to fill in at a moment's notice for guys when they go out of the ball game, like Jalen Ramsey for a little bit. Darius Slay, he's been dinged up in this one. Brandon Eccles, he got injured not too long ago. And it is James Pierre, the special teams contributor, who makes the game-sealing play for the black and gold one more time, because it is the biggest play of the ball game. Hold up here. They said he was not in. What? They called him out. Wentz the pass here, and that one's almost intercepted. Was that Brandon Eccles out there? Hang on, flag on the play. They said he did not have control as he was heading out of bounds. Holding on to defense, Patrick Queen. Queen was up, looking like he was going to blitz there. Got caught in between, holding Xavier Scott. I got to quit trying to call him Xavier. So I'm shocked that was not ruled an interception. I thought he had both feet in bounds with control and then some. Holding on Patrick Queen makes it 1st and 10 now. And now that interception that was, wiped out in that penalty stops the clock. 54 seconds. Vikings are at the 25. Wentz. TJ Watt's coming after him. Wentz stays on his feet. And now he's going to go down. Flag on the play, however. TJ Watt almost tripping up Wentz in the pocket. He rolls out to the right. Nick Herbig obliterates him. 48 seconds. Let's see what this flag is. Flag is going to be on the Steelers here. It's going to be 1st and 5 now. Maybe I'm not sure what they got there. Maybe TJ Watt on a early jump there. 1st and 5 now from the 30. Wentz to pass with time, throws, caught by Xavier Scott. 1st down, out of bounds at, I think, around the 40-yard line. A new set of downs here for the Vikings, and now 43 seconds left on the clock. They're now approaching field goal range. Showing a highlight of Will Reichert nailing an insanely long field goal, I think, last week against the Bengals. 43 seconds here. Here comes the Steelers. Wentz, he is going to fling it. Intentional grounding. Intentional grounding. That's grounding. You better call it. That's grounding. The Steelers got home. Nick Herbig on a stunt had Wentz wrapped up and was taking him down, and Wentz just flung it to the left towards the sideline. Call grounding. Loss of down. 10-second runoff. That's grounding. Come on. Flag. Intentional grounding. They got it. Let's go. Let's go. They got it. Intentional grounding. 37 seconds. Now down to 20 seconds. 27 seconds. Excuse me. Nick Herbig and TJ Watt. They are bringing the heat right now from the edge. Wentz here. It's going to be 2nd down and 26. Ball is now at the 24-yard line in Vikings territory. 2nd and 26. The play clock resets to 30 seconds. Wentz takes the snap. Back to pass. Herbig behind him. Pass to the middle of the field and rolling it. T.J. Hawkinson chopped low by James Pierre, in bounds right in the middle of the field now. So the Vikings have to hurry up here. They spike it. So they spike it there on 3rd and 15. Now it's going to be 4th and 15 here with 14 seconds left. Fourth down. Biggest play of the game. The Steelers have been robbed of a turnover and a couple of sacks on this drive. Can they overcome the adversity? 4th and 13. 14 seconds. Ball at the 37-yard line. Flag, delay of game. There's a flag down here. Hang on. Do we have a delay of game? Yes, we do. Delay of game on the Vikings. Make it 4th and 20, boys. A delay of game on the Vikings, and that might be the blow. So now they're going to mark it here, 4th and 18. That horn that the Steelers play is blaring. 4th and 18. Running back to Wentz's left. For Dan Rooney. Wentz back to pass. Herbig all around and firing middle of the field, and it is incomplete! The Steelers are going to win the ball game. Woo! Turnover on down. Oh my God. Oh, my heart. My chest. Wentz looking for Jordan Addison. There were 4 Steelers around, and it is the returning Sean Elliott who goes airborne and gets a hand on it to force the incompletion. And the Steelers, for Dan Rooney, smiling down from up above, they are going to win the first ever NFL regular season game in Dublin, Ireland. 3-2-1. (24-21). Your final score from Croke Park in Dublin, Ireland, kicking off this Sunday, week 4 of NFL football. The Steelers, I'm going to be honest, I'm not sure how many Steelers fans had optimism heading into this game, into this matchup against a great coached team like the Minnesota Vikings. But the Steelers, they come in, they take the fight to the Vikings. They did let their foot off the gas pedal, and the Vikings clawed back in it. The Steelers at one point were up 3 scores, and the Vikings came back. But on the final drive, the Steelers defense, come hell or high water, an interception taken off the board, a couple of sacks taken away by bogus penalties. Somehow, some way, they were going to find a way to end and win this ball game. And a heartfelt victory for the black and gold, where the Steelers' roots began with the Rooney family from Ireland in the first ever NFL regular season game. They get a win in front of a raucous Steelers favored Ireland fan base, and they get a win for the former U.S. ambassador to Ireland, Dan Rooney. What an absolute game. To the comments section we go. This team hazardous to the health. I need a beer. I might have one after this, an afternoon beer. My voice is shot. I'm screaming. Flacco has no nails left. Echelon Motion Pictures, welcome in. Echelon, didn't know you were in here. Concepts sank with few. Steelers won a game rigged against them. That first Minnesota TD was clearly out of bounds. What a heart attack game indeed. Kenny G, I can't say any more great things about Kenneth Gainwell and how he did today. Jaylen Warren from all accounts, was supposed to be good to go for today's game. He, about an hour before kickoff, gets ruled out. Hopefully it's nothing serious, but Kenneth Gainwell stepping in above and beyond. DK Metcalf, a hell of a game for him today. Over 120 yards receiving. Aaron Rodgers, he was cerebral with the passing attack, and the Steelers defense. Sure, there are some things still to improve on, like stopping offenses when they run hurry up. But the turnover defense came to play. They came to hunt Carson Wentz. They had a hell of a time chasing after him today, and they got to him, forcing a pair of turnovers. I don't drink, says Concepts, but I may need one today. I absolutely agreed. Steelers hazardous to the health, cause a damn stroke. I'm about ready to pass out in here. Freight Train says, nice win. Freight Train more stressful than it needed to be. Yes, it did. Refs bad today, but worse last night in the Penn State game. No holding calls, and they were mugging them. Yeah, did watch a little bit of that Penn State game. I had a hell of a sports day yesterday. Was trying to keep up with as much college football as I possibly can. The Pittsburgh Penguins, they had their preseason game last night. The farewell for Marc-Andre Fleury. He played a scoreless third period. Got the very righteous send-off that he deserved. The Pittsburgh Pirates were playing, and then, watching Alabama and Georgia and Penn State, Oregon. Didn't watch much, but that was a crazy game as well. Penn State still can't beat, top of the line opponents in college football. But yeah, this is putting on quite the bow to a crazy, electric, heart-pounding sports weekend for all of us here. True spoken, never saw that crap ever. Talking about the game. A win is a win, boys. Let's keep our foot on the gas. 3-1, the Steelers are going into the bye week. Honestly, if we had to go back to preseason predictions here, I'd probably say that the Steelers would be about that heading into the bye week. 3-1, they at least needed to win 3 of these games before they go into the second half of the season. That is just loaded. All AFC North Division games. The Lions await, the Bills await, a couple other good teams as well. The Green Bay Packers, Chicago Bears as well. They are on the schedule. So a hell of a second half of the season coming up for the Steelers after the bye week. They go into it 3-1. Now a very good opportunity in front of them to use this bye week. Tinker a little bit with some things defensively and offensively to make them a better all-around team in all sorts of areas and situations. And also, most importantly, they can get some guys back healthy. Alex Highsmith, if I had to guess, he might be good to go by week 6 when we play the Cleveland Browns. You'll probably see Jaylen Warren back then, Joey Porter Jr., seeing how he was a near go but just missed out today for this game. I expect him to be back in week 6, and then also some guys that are dealing with stuff. Patrick Queen, I know he's been dealing with an oblique. You've had, many guys get banged up and leave today. Calvin Austin, hopefully his shoulder injury isn't too serious. Jalen Ramsey, Darius Slay, Brandon Eccles, those guys all were dealing with stuff today. So this bye week, 4-1. Steelers struggled for bits of this first half of the season, but they did well enough in, big moments to be 3-1. Now they can go into the bye week, get healthy, fix some things, and come back stronger after the bye week. So great stuff there. Concepts again. Second foot was on the white when he bobbled the ball. Pierre's should have counted if that crap counted. Yeah, I still don't know why Pierre's INT didn't count. I was celebrating here, and then all of a sudden I turn here after playing the turnover graphic, and I'm like, what the hell? Why are the Vikings lining up here? So that was a quick snap back to play of action. Freight Train here. Loved the flower send-off. That was over the top. Loved it. Yeah. Beyond I think all of our expectations. The Marc-Andre Fleury send-off last night, we'll talk about it more tomorrow when we have a live stream tomorrow evening, again, recapping the weekend. But the Marc-Andre Fleury send-off, just absolutely beautiful, from how the Penguins handled it to the fans' reception. And now Fleury gets to go off into retirement. Started with the black and gold and rightfully ends in the black and gold. So that was great to see last night. But I know the Pens are going to be rebuilding. But let's just say, maybe February or March rolls around. It's around the trade deadline. And the Penguins are, a better team than what we expected. They're in the hunt for a playoff spot. But let's say the goaltending injury situation is a little skeptical. I don't think it would take much to get Flower off the couch and back in the black and gold for a playoff run. I think he might do that. But anyways, back to the game here. New name for Pittsburgh is the Pittsburgh Stressors. Yeah, it might as well change your name to that, because every game is a heart attack anymore. We all, you see in the future that the life expectancy rate of Pittsburgh Steelers fans goes down, they'll understand why. Hope Eccles is healthy here, says Concept, and CA3 might have had a ball to the chest, knocked the air out. I'm rambling, heart attack currently. Yeah, I think Eccles, hopefully he's all right. I thought more than anything it was just going to be a cramp. Hopefully it's not a hamstring or anything like that, one of those many soft tissues injuries that the Steelers have. But Austin, I know he was in a sling. His arm was in a sling. Said it's a shoulder injury. There was no x-ray machine at Croke Park, so they had to take him to the hospital. Hopefully he will be all right. I assume that isn't going to be anything serious to where he is going to miss the Steelers' flight back home. As soon as this game's over, the Steelers, they might be back in Pittsburgh later tonight, ladies and gentlemen. They are hopping on the bird right away from this game. Concepts, again, your thoughts on Minnesota's first touchdown and Ramsey's TD. Mason didn't have possession, and Minnesota's wide receiver was out of bounds and bobbled the ball. Your thoughts? I didn't really have an issue with Minnesota's touchdown. I thought he barely got in. Also, the Jalen Ramsey touchdown, it just sucks that Mason had to touch the ball as he was laying out of bounds, because that could have, jumped this game in a whole different way. So I thought ultimately both of them were the right calls. It's just unfortunate they went the way of the Steelers. Jonathan Harvey here. Thought you referring to Ramsey's fumble recovery for a touchdown here. Jonathan, I meant the catch back of the end zone, but Ramsey also should have had a TD. Mason clearly didn't possess the ball, so them claiming it was out was garbage too. Okay. Real quick here, Dom Pierce, another stall out. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, Dom, it was quite the crazy game here. Look, my hair is a mess. We're all a mess. I'm sure we all look like this. This team giving us heart attack stressors, the Pittsburgh Stressors. Indeed. TJ Watt pick was insane. Yeah, I mean, we've seen that from him before. We were wondering, did he still have big plays like that left in his bag? Apparently he did. Just going up, tipping the ball to himself and picking it up. That is a TJ Watt's specialty. That is a one-of-one thing that he can do. So hell of a play there by TJ. I think he's all the way back, folks. Watch out. He was an absolute force off the edge here today. Now, I will leave my room for a little bit of, my opinion subject to change, because he did go up against the pretty average right tackle last week in Morgan Moses. And then this week he faced Brian O'Neill for maybe a quarter. And then they were on to the backup because of injury. So Watt dominating guys that he should be, but and I like to hope that he is all the way back. But hopefully more to come from him. Last thing here from my dad, awesome job. Thank you, keep up the good work. Appreciate it. There, Dad. TJ, Defensive Player of the Year, number 4 this year. 3-time, about to be 4-time. Yeah, he should be a 3-time DPOY. I will say this. He does have a long way to go. I think, could he, for the rest of the year, have 2 sacks a game and finish with some godly numbers again? Sure. But also, I think him not having any sacks for the first 2 games of the season, that's going to hurt his chances. So hopefully he will be much better moving forward and will be in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation by the time that comes around. But anyways, here, my chest still hurting. Drank a whole bunch of coffee right here. In fact, I have another one sitting right here that's like halfway done. Also have a water here that I barely touched, so no surprise that my voice is gone. Concepts again, Keanu Benton, Cam Hayward, whole team contributed and made huge plays. This was a team win all around. I couldn't be any more pleased with the defensive line today. The defensive line, Keanu Benton, I mean, hell, I hope that that's a coming out party for him. He just absolutely was insane today. Cam Hayward was Cam Hayward. Nick Herbig, it feels like every single time he takes off the left edge, he could get around and get a strip sack on the quarterback's blind spot. And TJ Watt was TJ Watt. But yeah, hell of a game there from those guys. Derek Harmon too. Couldn't be any more pleased with the performance. Aside from the defense, having a few broken coverages, pass coverage still, kind of suspect. Aside from a few broken coverages and the team struggling with hurry up offenses, couldn't be any pleased. They're still taking away the ball. My dad puts in here since week 3, 7 takeaways. So that's 7 takeaways in 2 games, more than 28 teams in the league. Just the takeaway culture that Mike Tomlin has put into this defense. These guys, they are hunting for the ball every single opportunity they get. I mean, sure, that's probably also what comes with the disadvantages of, having big plays. But if they can keep having big turnovers like this, I'll take the bad with the good here. So let's see what else we got. Jonathan Harvey, love the balance. Offense shows despite some hiccups, great win. Get ready for the rest of the season. Hope the Ravens, Browns, and Bengals all take an L. Yeah, I never really paid attention to the rest of the NFL schedule here today. I know the Ravens, they play the Chiefs at 4:25 today, right? I believe that's that. Let's see here. Browns and Lions, they just kicked off. Lions are starting with the ball, so hopefully they're able to do us another favor and beat another AFC North opponent. Bengals, they are Monday night. Wow, Bengals are tomorrow night, 8:15 against the Broncos. How the hell are the Broncos 1-2? Crazy. And then the Ravens and Chiefs. Anyways, Ravens or Chiefs, one of those teams is going to be 1-3 to begin the season, and we could not be happier. So, all right, a couple more here. Couldn't agree more. Balance is so accurate. Love the balance of the offense from top to bottom roster. Such a balanced win, almost a blowout. Yeah, love the balance. Indeed, Rodgers didn't have to play Superman, and the Steelers ran the ball quite efficiently. Kenneth Gainwell, I mean, he might be back in that 50-50 split with Jaylen Warren because that was a hell of a performance by him. Did he get over 100 yards rushing, by the way? Jaylen Warren or Kenneth Gainwell? I did not see, and I just closed out ESPN. Go here. Box score. Did Kenny G get over 100 yards? No, he was just short. Kenneth Gainwell, 19 carries, 2 touchdowns, a yard short of a 100-yard game on the ground, 99 yards. Damn. I wanted him to get it. Aaron Rodgers, he finished 18 for 22, exactly 200 passing yards for him. And then DK Metcalf, he was the star of the show today. 5 receptions, 126 yards. His that touchdown, 80 yards on one play. So big game for DK Metcalf. Hell of a job for him. So comments here. Benton had a great game too, says Freight Train. Rodgers run and the Broderick Jones recovery was nuts and DK was nuts. Yeah, concepts. If you're just joining, go back and watch and see if you can find my reaction to that. That was the craziest play I've ever seen. A 42-year-old scrambling up the middle, and then the Jonathan Grenard punches the ball out. The ball just catapults like a trampoline off of the ground and right to Broderick Jones, who then just was, I think, looking for bodies to bowl through. So that was crazy. Kenny G 2 times for a tackle for loss, so he didn't get 100, then barely lost it. Yeah, that one tackle for loss he had when he was at like 92, that set him back. So wish he would have gotten that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that is going to wrap things up here for the day. Want to thank you all for joining me here on this Sunday morning, now turned afternoon. When this is all said and done, we'll have been on stream for nearly 4 hours. So a marathon up here. I thank you all very, very much. My voice is shot. My heart still trying to recover from that. Just an insane game all around. The Steelers, sure, let the Vikings get back in it, but damn, did they look good today. And now they're into the bye week where they can get healthier and make some adjustments. And then we'll be back here 2 Sundays from now, Steelers versus Cleveland Browns. That should be exciting. So thank you all. Hope you always hope you subscribe to the channel. Lost my train of thought there. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Turn on notifications so that you never miss when I am live again. Up to 562 subscribers here on the channel. So we gained 3 new subscribers today. I appreciate those 3 that did so. Love you for that. Afterwards, like this live stream, share this live stream, leave a comment, any extra thoughts that you have on it after the fact. I can see those as well. Go give the channel a follow at Steel City SR on Facebook, Instagram, and X. And back here Monday, tomorrow, we'll have a lot to talk about. We'll talk about this game, talk about the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Fleury farewell. And also, I'm sure we'll talk about the Pittsburgh Pirates. They are going to be wrapping up their season today. Final game of the season today. Charlie Morton, ground chuck, former Pittsburgh Pirate, drafted by Pittsburgh. He wraps up his career pitching for the Braves today. So lots to talk about tomorrow night. I hope you all join me. We're probably in for a big stream then. Might even take us all the way up to the Bengals game. Who knows? But thank you for joining me today. Back here tomorrow. Tons to talk about then. Final score today. The Steelers, 24. The Minnesota Vikings, 21. Steelers win.